You're
All right.
completely in frame too.
I hope so.
I think that we're all set here. Let's see. Yep, there it
Live.
is. The stream is set. All righty, welcome, welcome.
I just got the notification. It's official.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay. Cool. Cool. It's gonna be weird, but we'll be talking to just the back of a cell phone the entire time.
So now you don't. You're obviously the facial tracking thing's not going to work.
No, it's just
It's
a
stagnant.
camera on a stick now.
Yeah. Hey man, I mean the lighting's perfect. Everything else is perfect.
Yeah, it's what it is. But oh well, we adjust.
Yes, sir. Adjust and adapt. Are people coming in to the chat room?
I think that we are slowly starting to trickle in.
Nice.
Let's see. Got five eyeballs. All righty.
I know that's
I
gonna be
love the
long.
tree. I love the tree, DJ.
Yeah, I'm working in the mirror. Thank you. I'm like it's left. No, it's right. It's right.
Yeah, my wife, she went to Trader Joe's today and she got a grump tree, which is essentially like the little uh, Grinch Who Stole Christmas tree, like wrapped up with a little like ball on top.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is that like they had the Charlie Brown Christmas tree you could get for a while, right?
Same deal, same deal. Yeah,
That's
pretty
cool.
much. Yeah. So
I was at Trader
guys,
Joe's today as well.
oh, so along with Costco, you had a hellacious day.
Sorry, lost my microphone there. Got to disconnect my my Bluetooth on there.
Cool. There you go. Well,
I think I'm back.
stop fidgeting with that. That's annoying as shit, but whatever.
So what are we lighting up tonight, guys?
I still don't know yet.
Are you still going through?
I got two founders and the Enemoy.
Okay. And Michael's gonna light up the El Septimo Sacred Arts Collection Botticelli, which
Botticelli.
that's a big cigar, isn't it? That's a big Solomon or Figurado.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And
Be here a minute.
I got the Sakakan, the Micarita, Dunbarton. It is not focusing, but whatever. Good enough.
Let's do the founders. Not gonna smoke this on the channel otherwise. Cool.
Alrighty. Ugh. Are you doing the barber pole, DJ?
Yeah,
Nice.
that's right.
Be interested to get your take.
Yeah, I've wanted a barber pole for a while, and the Romeo y Julieta came out, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna buy it just realistically. So this is all I got. Let's hope it's good.
It'll be at the very least good. Hmm. Have you had an El Satino before, Michael?
You know, I think that I've had it one other time, but it was so long ago I don't recall.
Yeah.
I did stop by their booth at Big Smoke, and I picked up another one of these as well as one of the others that they were giving away at Big Smoke.
I'm guessing it's probably one of the Emperor collection because those just came out, and those are one of the I guess more of their budget friendly ones, which is still not necessarily a budget cigar, but compared to what else they offer, it's definitely more affordable.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting line, right? I mean, they had their own cognac there too, which was also well, I don't know, something that I had never seen before or heard about. I don't know who distributes it out here or how it appeared.
Yeah, that's the one that was like $1 million a bottle, I think, at PCE or PCA.
Hmm. Well, they had the lighters too, right? Where they
The
had
lighters,
some sort of.
the lighters are like $5 million per lighter. Then the cognac is in a bottle that's like encased in diamonds and stuff. That was like $1 million per bottle, something like that. It's all about opulence with them.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I get it. Oh yeah, they had that cognac collection. Oh, I see it on the site now.
For PCA.
Yeah.
Just to sell because they can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if somebody's willing to buy it, right? Like,
there's a customer for anything anybody sells. You just got to find them. You got to market it properly.
People are buying digital cigars now, so
Yeah.
at least they get to drink the cognac.
True that. True that, man.
and what's his name? Zaya, the CEO.
Zaya Yonan.
Zaya Yonan. He was there at the show as well.
I remember listening to a podcast with him. I think on KMA, the Kiss My Ash radio that Smokin' does. That dude, I mean, for one, he's a multi billionaire. Like he is insanely accomplished. He was like a higher up at GMC, like a higher up engineer at GMC, I believe. Just multiple businesses he's been a part of. He's been on the boards for. Just an extremely accomplished guy, and like all the lighters that he made, he was initially going to outsource it. I mean, like it's ridiculous to be making a $5 million lighter to begin with, but it's extremely impressive because he tried to outsource it to have like say Ellie Blue make his lighters, and he said price not an issue, like charge whatever you want to charge me, and they something to do with like the way that they wanted it made as far as like the crystals or diamonds involved. It didn't continue on. So Zaya just said, screw it. I'm just going to make it myself. I'm just going to make this lighter from scratch myself. I'm going to design it. I'm going to engineer it. I'm going to, get all the source. I'm going to source all the materials for it. So he just did it all himself.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I dig
very,
that.
very, very accomplished guy. Insanely accomplished guy.
I guess
he's definitely lived an interesting life.
Money will do that.
So still nobody nobody chatting in the chat room yet. I don't see any notifications.
We got, I think, one.
We got one. Steven.
Oh, sweet. I'm not getting because usually I get the little pop up in the chat saying on StreamYard. I didn't see anything. Well, hello back to you, sir, since I just saw it. What do you think of the Botticelli so far, Michael?
Well, we're just getting past our little nipple, but we're opening up, and it's rather nice.
Is that one shaped weird too?
Yeah, I just got done doing a review that's going to come out next week for the Lampert Limitada, the retailer's collection. And that one was the same kind of Salomones Figurado style. So between that one and what was the other one that was very recent that was in the same kind of format? Gosh, I forget. But yeah, it's been quite a few Salomones, and so far all of them have been pretty good.
Oh, the hooker.
Yeah, there we go. Sophisticated hooker. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, I guess you can call that. It's a Hemingway Figurado, but you could consider that a Solomon.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah. And it's a big fucking cigar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Sakakan, the Mi Querida that you're smoking. I did the Excalibur by Hoya in collaboration with the Lugione, and like, I was
Yeah.
basically had the leftover sticks of size, right, from the hot
Well,
summer.
and
And I was like,
yeah, you're probably wanting to like hold off on all the big ass cigars till it got cool outside.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
definitely been a year for big cigars.
What was that, DJ?
It's definitely it's been a year of big cigars. Like
Yeah,
big is in now.
yeah. No, as far especially limited big cigars too.
Yeah,
Like one run. Like this is one run. I mean the hooker, it's limited. It'll probably come back later on in another release, but it's very limited as we know. That Hoyt de Monterey, the Excalibur, the Illusione collaboration. There's been a few big freaking cigars, but I mean for the most part they've all been really enjoyable. I mean I still haven't tried that Hoyt de Monterey. I really want to get that though, the Excalibur.
it's nice. It's a solid smoke. It's definitely one of those where the price is befitting the experience. I
Mm.
don't think that it's going to beat out the Mi Querida Sakakan that's in your hand right now, but
Yeah.
it's a good conversation for sure.
I'm only smoking this because I got three more. If I didn't procure three because I got another coupon code from a purchase that my boss made, so I get pretty much like free cash for the website. So I was like, you know what? I'm just because I saw that they're still available on a place, so I'm just gonna load up as much as I can and enjoy them while I can because these probably aren't gonna he probably will come out with something similar, but you don't know that.
Mm-hmm. So for my cigar, this is a 7.5 by 58 ring gauge. This is what we have going on right now, Steve.
It's a rotund cigar.
And thank you for the.
Nice.
Yes, indeed. I have my Master Your Ash hat to switch out to.
yeah. I was at a tree lighting ceremony in South Lake today, and it was like the most mundane, watered down celebration for a city that is known for wealth. It was real sad.
Yeah. I'm gonna put in my other earbud. How's the barber pole so far, DJ?
Not great. It's not bad. It's far too squishy, but it's not a lot going on.
I think you had because you had another issue with the first one that you smoked, right?
Yeah, the Churchills they sent me, they're not great. They don't stay lit. This one's burning fine. It's I don't know what's wrong with them. They're just not good. So they sent me some Toros as well, and these have been fine. But I have just 5 Habanos, or I guess 2 Habanos left. Those are great. I'm not digging the Churchill size. There's just not a lot going on. It's kind of boring.
Yeah.
And it's a little bitter.
Well, especially with a barber pole, which typically tend to be very mild cigars to begin with. You're gonna risk not getting enough flavor.
Yeah, well, and it's their blends are all pretty similar, but it's the Habano, which is good, and the Connecticut, which is good. So this should be better than it is.
Combination, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had the barber pole, which I like. What is it called? The signature, I think, and then the Maduro, the the Franklin Maduro. That was a
Yeah.
solid smoke. And I saw the comment, I'm not freezing, but these other two guys are probably freezing.
Yeah, I got my space heater propped up, pointed directly at me, so it's not terrible. But having to prop open the garage door is not ideal.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the warmest out, but it's manageable. I got a heater right next to me over here too. That's off camera, but it works.
And having the one that's on the wall, that's pointed down at you, that's high up, is a lot better than probably what we're doing, which is like a space heater at our feet. They're keeping our feet warm, but that's it.
Yeah, that's why I prop mine up on a little step stool because I'm like, it's not. It goes straight into the concrete. Like it doesn't even hit me out here. So this way, I mean, it's lukewarm air, but it's air.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Michael, I was gonna say the Maria Lucia. That cigar looks and sounds freaking bomb.
Yeah, that was really good. So Char over at Infuego, I was there. They had their anniversary party this past week on Wednesday, right before the Big Smoke, and I was there like the day before the anniversary party, and he was just like, "Hey, man, you should. Here you go. Try this out." He's like, I don't care if you review it or not, but you should definitely, like, when you're just hanging out and you can concentrate on it, it'll treat you nice. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Solid. It was amazing, the similarities between that and the Bosphorus. And then the, not to give too much away, but the Lampert Limitada and the Johnny Tobacco Nut, like, I'm starting to get like reoccurring reviews in the process of reviewing cigars where I'm like pitting the two against each other. And part of my, like, I'm going through and I'm editing that Limitada right now. And I've said on camera, I was like, the Ron Real thing that we talked about on the last live stream where, like, for the end of the year, doing like more of a bracketed kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, I don't know if I'm going to include this in the final thing, but in the final edit, but it's funny.
So the Lampert Limitada, that's like the really big. It's like a 9-inch Salomon, right? That's a really big one, isn't it?
The Lampert, they have two. They have one that's 7 1/4 by about 54, like this.
Okay.
Not as big ring gauge wise, and that's the Salomon. And then there's the A, which is the 9 plus at a smaller
but
ring
it's
gauge.
it's a Parejo though.
Right, correct.
Okay.
And then I think that the Figurado, the Salomones, is about $30 a stick, 35 a stick, and then 45 for the A.
Jesus.
Yeah, they're not cheap, but
I don't want you to give it away, but I'm looking forward to seeing if you think it's worth it or not.
fair enough.
That bracket idea is pretty good for justifying how you got to the number you did. That's
Absolutely.
I like that.
It's entertaining too.
It's true. Oliva G, man, that's a good smoke.
I have a hunch you're probably not bundled up next to a space heater in Orlando.
Yeah, probably not.
And so the Lampert Limitada, is that one? Hey, what's up, Mike Citron? How's it going, man? The Lampert Limitada, that one that's not made at AJ's factory, right?
No, I believe that one, if I remember correctly from the review, that one is coming from Aganorsa?
Really?
Maybe I'm getting confused here. Let me look this up.
Okay. Yeah. Bomb. Oh man, this is a good cigar. Oh, and I just saw Joe Knows. He posted his review of the Olmec, and he freaking loved it. The Olmec Maduro.
It's a
Yeah,
great
it's all
cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Tobacos de Costa Rica. So I'm guessing that this is
It's a
going
Castagli.
to be the Castagli factory. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Probably should have known that, being that the Castagli rep handed it to me. That's all right, though.
Good bet. Okay. Le Bijou. Good smoke.
Le Bijou, Le Bijou. See here, go through some of these comments. Mike, Punch Rancho Puro. Nice. I don't know if I've had a Punch Rancho.
It's been
I
years.
think I ever have.
It's been years since I've had one.
Yeah, I really like the
Solid
Punch
smoke.
Diablo. The Punch Diablo is good.
Never had a Diablo, but that blend's been around for a long time, I think. So I have no excuse as to why I haven't had it yet.
I only picked it up because 505 told me it tasted like a brownie. And I was like, yeah, bullshit. And then about halfway through, I'm like, no, that's a brownie.
I gotta get that cigar then. This just sounds like something. Yeah.
It's good.
A punch I may actually like. Wow.
So
Yeah.
we were gonna wait until we were on stream, and I think the DJ came in after, like, post conversation, while we were getting going in the back end of the studio. But you're contemplating adding a companion for Mr. Rutherford, Cigar Hound Dog.
Yes. We went and met a potential sibling for Rutherford today that we may be adopting, and his name is Churchill, which is the biggest selling point for me, with his name being Churchill.
So on brand.
Very, very on brand. You know, Rutherford, Churchill, dignified, stupid names. Yeah, he's a big Shih Tzu, and yeah, he's like a 28-pound Shih Tzu. I
Wow.
think he's mixed with like a poodle or something, because he's not all Shih Tzu. There's something else in there. It's not all
He's a
Shih
Shih Tzu?
Tzu. She's a Shih Tzu.
He's a shit poo.
Yeah, and he's most chill dog, just so freaking chill. Like, and walking him, he actually walked with me. He walked with Lisa and I,
That's
and
cool.
because Rutherford, he's a hound dog. He has to sniff everything and like beelines everywhere. So yeah, my wife and I said that we're going to talk about it for a couple of days, and like no matter how we felt about today, and still wait a couple of days to let it sink in, and then make a final decision probably Monday. So
Cool.
yeah, so Rutherford could be having a sibling very soon.
Younger dog, older dog?
He's supposedly 8. But he
Okay.
could. They don't know his exact age. He could be older. He could be younger. You call your dog Church for short. He's not my dog, but I'll probably call him Church or Churchy, because I was calling him that today. Really good. But yeah, so
Sakakon, man.
yeah, this cigar is bomb. And for being such a big ass cigar, oh, it's tasty. I can't wait for DJ to try it, and hopefully cleanse your palate of your previous experience with the last Dunbarton you had.
I'm hoping I'm hoping he sends me the one. I told him to send me whatever his favorite size of that is, so I get a better experience with it. But yeah, I want the Sakakon, and then I have a Sobremesa, not the brulee, but just the regular Sobremesa that's been in my humidor for almost. I don't know who sent it to me. It may have been Johnny. Like, I guess damn near 2 years at this point.
That's probably going to be a smooth, sweet cigar, man.
Yeah, I need definitely the Sakakon before end of the year.
Yeah, just in case if it makes it, which it might.
So that's the thing, is I don't want to smoke everything that everyone else did, because we'll all have the same exact lists.
That's true. But it's also at the same time, like it's all about how you want to do your own list. You can make your own list however the f you want. It doesn't matter. But also, like, say in this particular case, it's a limited cigar that came out in 2022.
Right.
You can come out next year with your list and put it on there. It's your damn list. You
Yeah.
know.
See,
But yeah,
people get mad about that.
exactly. And it's like, well, the main thing is, it's like people will get mad about it because they can't get it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest drawback.
Well, they'll be like, well, you said cigars of 2022, and if you put it on like a 23 list, I'm like, yeah, it's the cigars I smoked that year. I didn't smoke every cigar.
Yeah, I think I don't. It may be Half Wheel who does this, but they do every. I think like every cigar that came out that year, and then every cigar up to the third quarter of the previous year that they'll allow to be on their list for whatever current year they're doing.
Mhm.
Right. Because
So
if
if
someone
you
drops
if
something
you
good in December, like it's gonna get lost in all the
well, and
different lists.
that's what happened with the Room 101, the Namakubi.
Yeah.
That came out last November, I think. I didn't smoke until January.
Right.
And so now I'm like kind of in a predicament because that is a phenomenal, like I thought it was a freaking phenomenal cigar. But I have to add a caveat or add some sort of like, asterisk, like allowing it in because it was a previous year for the previous, limited for the previous year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it gets a little bit sticky in that regard. But if you set that precedent, say like, hey, I'm gonna do all the cigars eligible are cigars that came out this year and up till third year of 2020 or third quarter of 2021, the previous year, then you're good. It just sucks because people won't be able to get those cigars most likely if it's a limited.
Yeah. Well, you smoke a lot of limited cigars on your channel.
Fuck, dude, yeah. I just got in the Year of the Rabbit, the Davidoff Year of the Rabbit today, and
$43 MSRP.
it was $50 MSRP. I think I could be wrong, but I don't know if it was the MSRP, but either way, I paid $50 for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it came from a retailer, shipped online, and it's one cigar, and they shipped it in seriously like a 12 by 10 by 3 box for one cigar. It's absurd. So stupid.
You gotta like ratchet it down.
Yeah. Yeah, man, the limited cigars, it's it's like in my mind, I just think like I have to get the limited stuff because that's what people will be interested in. That's what people will be viewing, looking up. But seriously, like you said, DJ, as far as volume of people, more people are looking for flavored stuff. More people are looking for Romeo y Julieta Reserva Real. Like they're looking for those cigars.
Value driven.
Value, and also just legacy brands that everybody knows.
Yeah, the shit that like people will search what is Joe Rogan smoke, and then they'll want to buy that, or whoever a pop culture figure is, and that's the shit that people are looking for because they want to be like, I want to be like that guy, and that's the smoke they want. Or if it's a regular line, like anything Monte Cristo, anything Romeo Julieta, like all that shit, the shit that's been around for forever. All those reviews that were done by like Cigar Obsession and Cigar Prop and anyone else, they're all gone. So now the YouTube search like SEO is all up for grabs. So that's the shit to do if you're trying to do views. But as far as volume goes, flavors and discounts get so much. And like brands like McAuliffe will shit on Black and Milds and Swisher Sweets all they want, but when it comes to volume of sales, it's not even close. Like it's just
not.
not. And
It's
it's
not.
and search results. There's a guy on YouTube. He does like knives and other things related to it, and he does black and mild, Swisher Sweets. Oh, his views are crazy.
Yeah. That's what the masses are looking for. That's what the masses know about.
That's what they smoke.
Yeah.
You can hate on all you want, but it's there. It ain't going away. Like if anything, those are that's the company whose lawyers who are fighting to keep flavored cigars around. It's that shit.
Yeah.
Like
It's a good point.
Yeah.
every gas station across America, every single one.
The C stores, man, the convenience
Mhm.
stores, they
Yeah.
are a big proponent, and that's why they are a big participant for TPE coming up January, February. They're always there, and they always have a considerable amount of space in the floor on the show floor.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the success of the acid line by Drew Estate, and even some C stores that offer the factory smokes at $2-3, MSRPs that they're probably turning and selling for $5, $6 for a premium cigar, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yep. Jam's Dominican. I'm sure their volume is huge. And I see a comment. Have you had the Colts yet? It's really nice stick. Also limited. Took me about almost 5 years to find it again. Bought the last two when I saw them. I've had Colt before. It's been years though. The last time I had one was maybe like 2015. It was a solid smoke, but it has been forever since I've had a Colt.
I
We
think
have a
that
good
there's a
one
large
out
enough
here.
sample size now too between the limiteds that you've smoked, Hound Dog, on your stuff, and then the limiteds that DJ, EKB, I've contributed into the space. And Joe knows he touches on them every so often, right? But there's enough of a sample size where I feel as though there are certain ones that deem the price tag right, but we've talked about it on the live streams before and stuff like that. Once you get into like the $40 and above price point on these ultra premium brands, it's very, very hard to find something. I mean, like even the Cypher 3311, right? Like that's a phenomenal smoke, but is it $50? Is it 5.0 worthy? That's
Well, and it's like I can get one of those, or I can get almost like three of these, three or four of these. This is a
right.
$16 cigar. It's this Cypher is a really, really good cigar. I think it'll get way better with age. But right now I'm not gonna buy anymore because I don't know if it's gonna become a cigar that would be worth $50-$65.
Right.
That like with Davidoff, it's just like you're gonna pay a premium, like no matter what, especially if they're year of the series. And it stinks because one of the best cigars I ever had was a Davidoff Year of the Dragon. That was such a phenomenal cigar. And each one I've had since that point has just been a complete disappointment because that one Year of the Dragon was one of the best cigars ever.
Yeah.
And for the most part, they're at least interesting blends. But like the Year of the Tiger, the most interesting part about that cigar was the wrapper, was the fact that it had tiger stripes on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's unfortunately the flavor profile, in my opinion, was just very blasé. It was nothing special. It wasn't a $40-$50 cigar, not even close.
Right. No, I agree. I agree 100%. I was very disappointed, especially because we were born in '86, so that was
That was our cigar.
disappointing. That was our cigar.
Yeah.
It was our year, but
Yeah.
it sucks.
Yeah.
From my perspective, originally buying a box of 10 Behiki 52s and smoking them when they were only $30 a stick and only having two left. Imagine how I feel now that they're like $400 a stick.
It's insane.
And that's a delicious cigar. Don't get me wrong; it's an amazing cigar. But yeah, I would have much rather have sold that box.
Yes, for the price you could be selling it at, absolutely. I would do. I don't care how much I like the cigar. I would sell that shit.
Hell no.
The year of the dragon, I think, could have been 2011 or 2012. I believe it was the first year of the, one of the Zodiac series. It was the first Zodiac cigar that they came out with.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong on that, but I think that's the case. It was a phenomenal cigar.
So it's the year 87's the year of the dragon. How does that work if it's the rabbit after the tiger?
I think he was. I don't know if I thought he was asking what year the cigar came out. Was the year of the dragon?
Oh, okay. Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
I could. Yeah, 80. I don't know what 87 is.
Oh yeah, that's when I bought mine. Yep. Well, Richard, if you want to light it up with me, when we hit 1,000, I'll light up the first Bahiki, and then I'll save the next one for something else. But I'll give everybody fair warning before that comes out.
Dude, that 1,000 I think is definitely going to happen before the end of the year. I think there's a really damn good chance.
We'll see. Saka hooked us up, but you guys have been very deliberate and diligent about making sure. I know that EKB on our last live stream, he was shouting from the rooftops about everybody going sub to Master Your Ash. So I greatly appreciate all of you guys, because it doesn't happen without you for sure.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Takes a village.
You absolutely deserve it, man.
Definitely.
Absolutely deserve it.
Well, thank you.
And what was I going to say? Completely lost my train of thought right there. Sorry, brain fart, guys. Need to drink some more coffee.
It's all good. We got some solid control. I'm actually very impressed with this.
Yeah.
The flavors? How the flavors?
Well, the flavors are fantastic, honestly. Like, it's nutty, it's creamy, it's got some nice earth to it, very little spice, which I can appreciate, because I smoked before we started the live stream. I did a Mrs. Hatchet, and that one was actually spicier than the Zombie Farmer Bill.
Shit. Well, and both were last year, right?
Yeah, both were last year, but the Mrs. Hatchet's undisclosed in the blend, and then Farmer Bill the Zombie is a Nika Criollo 98 wrapper. So I was actually expecting that to be spicier than whatever the hell was on the Mrs. Hatchet, but Mrs. Hatchet, like, kind of after a day of like fighting traffic at Costco and Trader Joe's, I for turkey season, I was very pleased. That thing knocked me back a peg, and I was less tense when I got home.
Nice. Yeah, and with all the nice. Yeah, Blackbirds, solid smokes, man.
How did you like the Blackbirds, Lewis? Tell me in the chat, man. I thought the Rook was decent, but I really enjoyed the Unkind, man. That was nice. I want to smoke more of those Blackbirds. Those were cool.
The Unkind was the first one you did, right?
Yeah.
That one looked good. I've only had the Cuco so far, and that was very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
They make good smokes, and with the El Septimo, you could just tell they use like a lot of exotic tobaccos, like Costa Rican, Peruvian, which I always appreciate it, because you don't get that often, and they're very well blended. And you get a lot of like, sweet floral spice. You really don't get it in a lot of other cigars, and not too much of it either. It's not like too stinging to the sinus.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. There's another brand, and it's funny because when you said that, it just reminded me of DJ's review from the other day, where he was talking about the Tatiana using Indonesian tobacco. And I wanted to comment on his review so bad that the Fireball cigar that I smoked had
Same.
Indonesian tobacco in it, and it was terrible.
It's gotta be cheap, man.
Yeah, you really don't see a lot of Indonesian, like especially in newer blends that come out. You don't see a lot of Indonesian tobacco. You see Ecuadorian Sumatran. You don't see a lot of like Indonesian blends.
It's gotta be so cheap. They're like, we don't care, spray it down. Like that's gotta be why. Because it has a very it's like that's Indonesian. As soon as you start to smoke it,
Yeah.
it's not that it's bad. It's just like, yeah, okay.
Well, wasn't there a style that came over? Like, didn't African Cameroon originate in Indonesia, or didn't Sumatran or one of those kind of originate in Indonesia and then it moved? I feel like I remember.
I
reading at one
believe
point.
it's something to that effect, like the seed varietal. Like
Yeah.
there's root seed varietals that come from different regions of the world, and Sumatra is one of them. So like whether Cameroon is a seed varietal of like Havana seed or Sumatran seed or whatever, I have no idea. But I know there's kind of like a lineage, you know.
Yeah. There's something to that.
Mhm. And I think DJ, you've had one El Septimo before, right?
Yeah.
And you weren't the biggest fan of it.
The draw sucked, and I think it was because of the weird shape that it was, and it just wasn't
Yeah.
that great. I have one more. What'd you say the new line was called?
The Emperor's Collection.
Yeah, I have an Alexander the Third that I got from Cigar King Club. That looks pretty good.
You got that from me.
Did I get it from you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that from Hound Dog King Club.
I told you.
Round
At one
King Club.
point, I just gotta have a banner that just rotates with all of you guys on there.
That'll be just like kind of like a baseball game. How like it like shifts like every like 5 minutes.
This episode
With your guys'
sponsored by,
logos
and then
on
it
the
just
jacket
rotates.
like a damn NASCAR driver.
Yeah, because the latest one they sent me wasn't limited. It was, I think, just medium to full body cigars. So that's probably why.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with that cigar. It was a very creamy, like very flavorful Connecticut. Because I had that. What was that, DJ?
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah. I had it when they first came in, just because I was excited to try it, because I love Alexander the Great, and it was very whatever. But like after resting for a couple of weeks, it definitely opened up a lot.
Okay. We'll sit for a while, but that's most cigars at this point.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm pretty sure my list is going to be solidified from here on out, unless something else pops up, like which is definitely possible, because I just added another one and had to bump another one off to make room for it. But I'm pretty sure my list at this point should be the list that it's going to be for the end of the year.
Just do a top 20 and do 2 10s and just milk it for as many views as you can.
That's not a bad idea.
That's
not a bad idea.
Martin did something like that last year, and I think it was 4 parts long. I don't know if it was 20 or more, but it gets to the point, if you smoke, let's say 3 cigars a week, that's a lot of cigars to go through. Like,
yeah,
as far as people putting out content, I don't think anyone's near your volume right now, as far as just straight up reviews.
Yeah, and I think the longest list I've seen, I believe, is Cigar Coops. He has, I think, a top 30 list, I think.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cigars, man.
Like, the competition between 26 and 27 was fierce.
Yeah, that's and he really takes it seriously too. Like he'll smoke multiples of like, and I don't know if he has like a cutoff, like only the top 10 he'll smoke multiples of to make sure he
Yeah,
gets it right. But he definitely spends a lot of time on that list, not just because of how big the list is.
yeah, that's very like minute, which is it's good.
The Dragon by Placencia? I know that they have the Tiger and then the Rabbit that's coming out. I don't think they have a Year of the Dragon. And I
And
could
then
be
the
wrong.
Ox
Maybe,
from the year before.
yeah, the 2021 they had the Year of the Ox, which is like a big Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. I remember watching one of Cigar Coop's videos on goodness, he was testing something where he was God, what was he testing? He was testing I'll have to look it up. He had like 5 or 6 cigars that he was testing something on, and he did it in a very like scientifically well done kind of way. Got to look up that video and see what the hell I'm talking about and having a total brain fart on right now. But it was well done, I thought. It's from like earlier in the year, I feel like.
Okay.
Let's see. See if I can find it.
Hmm. Did the founders get any better, DJ?
It did, but it was too boring for how cold it is, so I went with the Anemoy.
Oh shit! You lit up. I didn't even notice you lit up something else. That's cool.
Yeah, well, I somehow lost my good lighters when I was coming out here, so I was trying to light this with a match, and matches are awful.
Especially a bigger ring gauge cigar too.
I went through 6. I was like, I can't do this. It just
Oh,
kept going out, and I get like half the cigar lit, but it's good now. It's a nice cigar.
you like it, the Anemoy?
Yeah, I don't think I've had a La Galera yet.
That may be your first. They're
Oh.
really good, man.
Well,
Gotta
There it is. I figured it out. So, Cigar Coop, he did the science behind dry boxing a cigar in 2020, and it was a 53-minute long video.
Damn.
Because we were, we
Yeah.
were going back and forth with D Love and kind of talking about it and just the benefits of dry boxing a cigar. And he actually went through and he picked out like maybe 8 or 9 sticks, and he dry boxed them at different time periods and had a control to go up against, and they were all the same cigar and so on and so forth. And it was really well done the way that he put it together.
Huh. I'll have to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
The conclusion was that it helps.
I believe so, especially because of the fact that he's in Florida, where the relative humidity is, it's a lot higher than I deal with out here in Nevada and you deal with in Texas, I'm sure. But like,
Yeah.
for instance, I had the 3 cigars that I was telling you guys in the chat. I took them out. I had the Diamond Crown, which is probably where I'm going to go next. I'm not sure yet. The Nicaraguan
AJ.
series by AJ, and then the Flathead that we were talking about. And all of these guys were like right around 67, 68 when I took them out of the cello, and I tested them like earlier tonight. And then in that hour and a half before before starting up the stream from when I came outside to do my review, it went from 68 to about 60. And now we're sitting like right at 45. So, I mean, these things, dry boxing for me only takes 30 minutes to an hour.
It doesn't take days. I mean, if depending on where you live, it could. But where we live in more arid climates, it doesn't take days. Like I had this along with all the other cigars I might smoke. I put them in my dry box humidor for 8 hours. Like they don't need a hell of a lot of time where we live.
Yeah, it's basically the time that it takes me to set up the camera, take the overhead shot, and light it up. I'm pretty much dry boxed on most of my sticks out here.
You're good to go. Yeah.
Uh,
Especially, I know Dee was saying like another thing you should do while you're dry boxing is cut the cap, so you can let more moisture out of that that way too, so it's not stuck in there.
Yeah.
100%. And that'll eliminate some of the plugs that you get, at the band point, especially with some of those tighter bunch cigars like the Hemingway Añejo line, with the sharks and certain ones that have different shapes and sizes where they're bundled really, really tight at the top in that Parejo.
Yeah. I know we talked about like cigars that we smoke for like for October, for for Halloween and whatnot, for like the flavors that they emit. But like, is there like a cigar, not necessarily like it has to taste like Christmas or it has to taste like Thanksgiving or whatever, but is there a cigar that you have that you always associate and want to smoke for a certain holiday? Both of you guys.
I can't think of one.
No.
Aside from like the black market during St. Patrick's Day. But that's just because that's a good cigar and it's only out then.
Yeah.
I mean, the Monster series by Tatuaje for Halloween is one for me. And then the Viaje stuffed turkeys and Farmer, for Thanksgiving. Those are probably the two that I would say stick out the most that I've consistently done over the years, especially the Tatuaje, the Monster line, because it's only released during Halloween and everybody kind of flocks to it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, what made me think of that is because you said añejo, and añejos, I always think Christmas, because they always come out this time of the year, and I've always had one. I've always had an añejo during Christmas time, and that's the only time I'll have one too.
Yeah, when they were a little bit closer to MSRP, I remember every year Sam Adams would release their chocolate Bach. And I would grab a bottle of chocolate Bach and I would smoke a Hemingway Añejo with the chocolate Bach. And that was like one of my first like pairings that I would do every year for just myself.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice.
JC
I've never.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, DJ.
Yeah, JC Newman has that. Was it the Yucca or whatever? And they try and re-release that every year around Christmas. The weird, misshapen thing.
Oh, the Yagua. The Yagua.
Yeah, Yagua.
Yeah. And that's a solid smoke. It's a Connecticut broadleaf that's not like super dark. It's more of like a kind of like a very reddish dark brown. So it's unique in that sense, along with the how it's shaped. I've only had a couple. They're solid smokes. I think with age they will get better too. But yeah, that's a unique cigar. I highly recommend anybody try it because it's just the way that it's made is just for nerds like us, it's really cool.
Yeah, I've been seeing on Instagram all their like the staff that work there. They've all been posting it on their personal pages. So I wonder if they're gonna try and push it again this year.
If they're having it released, it makes sense. I think that'll be one of the ones that Saka sends out, because I'm pretty sure with the holidays coming up, maybe he wants to get that into all the people's hands. And also the Stillwell Star, that blend, it hasn't, in my opinion, just from what I've seen, it hasn't gained like a ton of traction. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had it. It's a good cigar. I've had one of the 4 blends, now 5 blends at the holiday release, but you don't see it around a ton.
No, that was one that I asked to send because I haven't found it, and I've looked at my local shops. It's just not there.
Yeah. I think that it's also hard too because each version is a different blend. So when you have slightly tweaked blends with 4 or 5 different Vitolas in one line, it's one of those where if you're reviewing it, you have to smoke all of them in order to figure out which one you like the most, so to speak. And that's one of the things that Steve actually talks about is like try them all so that you can figure out which one is your kind of gear.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the Bayou number 32. That's the only one I've had, and I really liked it. You know, I'd love to try the other ones. I'd love to try the other ones. You just don't see them around.
Still is too large, one-dimensional, and expensive. Are you sure that you're not talking about the
Nah,
the one that DJ reviewed?
the Sin Compromiso. Without compromise. Yeah, the second third of this SakaCon is freaking money.
Yeah,
Love this.
I'm gonna smoke the other Botticelli that I have from the from previous. I don't know if you sent it out to me, Matt, or if that just manifested some other way. But the other Botticelli that I have, and I will not get an ash hold like this for the camera, guaranteed.
Yeah, for review. Yeah, that is beautiful, man.
Yeah, this thing is amazing. Construction wise, man, so on point.
And it's getting to a point to where like the tapered, it's tapering down, but it's still holding really well.
Yeah,
it's wild.
And I did not send that one to you, the other Botticelli. I think I remember you saying in your, because you showed that I'm such a fucking nerd because I'm talking to you about your videos that I remember you talking about it. But in your humidor tour that you did in your garage, you had that cigar, and I think you said you got it at some other event, but that was before the big smoke.
It's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, this SakaCon is definitely hitting the spot, man. This is probably my favorite. The Steel Star is another really good smoke, and the only other blend I've had from Saka has been the Brulee. Not even the Brulee Blue, just the regular Brulee.
I like the Brulee.
Yeah,
that was used against me in that video. That was the weirdest part. Is the own fanboys were like, well, you like that one, that's why you don't like this one. You suck, you like that cigar. I was like, it's the same brand.
Yeah.
What are you doing? It's a good cigar.
Yeah, Keelan, he sent me an Añejo Shark in his bomb that he sent me, and I'm gonna save that for Christmas, or somewhere around Christmas to smoke.
Yeah,
that cigar is. I mean, Michael, you have like a very aged box of them, so you know how damn good they are.
They were my favorite non-Cuban for a very long time.
What makes the Sand Shark different?
I believe the Cameroon wrapper, as opposed to the Hemingway Añejo wrapper that they use, which is that Maduro wrapper.
Yeah, the Connecticut. Because the Añejo blend, I've always heard, and I could be completely wrong, the Añejo blend is essentially the Opus blend. I've heard, and you, Michael, you probably know more about this than I do, but I believe like there was a year where they're going to come out with Opus X, and they couldn't get the wrapper for it, and so instead of holding off, they just created a new blend by sticking the binder and filler leaves that they would use for the Opus with the Connecticut broadleaf, which is how the Añejo was created. I could be completely wrong, but I think that's what I heard.
No, I believe that you're correct. I feel like with the Sand Shark, you have the Cameroon wrapper and then the rest of the blend, and then with the Hemingway Añejo, you have that Connecticut broadleaf wrapper.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think that's really the only difference in the two.
And then obviously the Eye of the Shark is the Cameroon, the Don Carlos in the shark form. It
Correct.
finally went.
Finally went. And I just avoided it.
Or
Almost made it to the band though. Pretty close.
fuck, for that cigar, that's incredible, dude.
Yeah, it was a good 3 inches at least. Maybe 4.
So what did you do today for your Saturday, DJ?
I had to do
Fresh.
some
Be
work,
right back.
which was annoying, but I'm traveling next week, so I'm traveling a lot next week. So I worked, and then I went to the tree lighting this evening, which was lame, but is what it is.
Yeah. Tree lighting for the city, for your work.
It's for the city. So the city of South Lake has South Lake is a very bougie city. It's filled during the day with like stay-at-home moms that have so much money they don't know what to do with. So they just hang out in the city all day.
Yeah.
But they usually have a really big Christmas tree lighting ceremony. And the tree's not that great, but they have vendors and everything's free and there's a ton of shit to do.
Yeah.
This year there wasn't really anything there. So you're walking around, it's like decorate a wooden bookmark. And I was like, oh, this is not the same.
Yeah.
So we got there and there's just nothing to do. And even when they lit up the tree, it was just kind of sad. And they usually have like a fireworks show as they light up, like right after they light up the tree. And this year it was like an eighth of how long it normally is. I'm like, y'all cut back on everything.
Yeah, man.
That is just like it's the level of bougie. We're sitting there and we're in line to do like I don't know, some marketing thing from some sponsor where you gotta give them your information to have your kid play a game. But this mom leans over and was like, Sephora, let's go. And I couldn't help but laugh because I was like, okay. I was like, that was a joke, but that kid turned her head.
Yeah. Shit, man. Well, that stinks, dude. I mean, at least you went. At least you could say you did it. Sucks that it was kind of a waste of time, but at least the kids had fun, right?
Yeah, and they pump in like I think they said I don't know how many pounds it was, but they have like sledding or inner tubing down one of the streets because that's how much snow and ice they bring in just to have for the day. So that was cool because we that's not something we get to do in Texas, even when it snows a lot. It's just not what it is out here. But we're actually doing Thanksgiving tomorrow. So my wife's been prepping and we'll be getting the house ready because we never do Thanksgiving on actual Thanksgiving anymore. We haven't done it in our family for like at least 10 years.
Wow, damn.
No, we started it back when my wife and I were still living in California because it got to the point where we had like my parents and my brother, and that was our family in California because hers was back in Texas. But then we moved back here and everyone started dying. It was like 4 of us. So eventually now we have a whole bunch of family that moved to Texas and like still like, no, we ain't doing it on Thanksgiving. We usually do that for travel just because if I take vacation during that time, that's 2 extra days. So you might as well do it. And then we just travel or do something on Thanksgiving and we get to our destination. So that's our travel day instead of using one of the other days to be a travel day.
Yeah, my wife and I, we're gonna do jack shit this Thanksgiving. Like we usually travel to Denver. Well, last year we went to Denver because my wife's sister lives there. The year before we went to Zion, to frickin' Springdale, Utah, to meet my wife's sister. And then the year before we went to Denver. So we usually have kind of a tradition of just meeting up with, my wife's sister and her husband. This year, I think they made other plans and We just said, screw it. We're just gonna stay at home. We're gonna cook a meal for us and call it a day. Just relax. You know, no traveling, no family, just us. And we'll probably have another dog by that point. So that'll be cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, we started doing it. It was back when we had Disney passes back when they didn't cost your firstborn child.
Mortgage? Yeah.
Yeah, so we'd go to Disney on Thanksgiving because I'm like, look, it's gonna be empty. Just think about it. It's gonna be empty, and it would be. And then even when my parents would start to go on my dad's OC side, we have to eat turkey somewhere. So we did like the Carnations restaurant because they sell turkey dinner there.
Yep.
So that's what we do, and we go, and then it's empty till like 5 o'clock. And they even what was annoying is, like, I was 45 minutes away from Disney. I had marched in both parks. I've been backstage. I've done special music things. I've been there too many times, and I'd have cast members like trying to talk to me about when times would be. I'm like, dude, someone else. I know exactly when people are going to show up. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be dead until then. If you've been to Disney on a day where it's dead, this before like the Star Wars expansion, all that, you didn't need multiple days if you're just doing Disney. On a dead day, you could do the whole park and be done by 1 o'clock. Like,
Yeah.
that's just what it was. Because when it's walk on, and like, oh, this place, especially when you go to like Disney World, you're like, it's tiny compared.
Yeah. Yeah, it is when we went and we thought the day after Labor Day was the day, or the Wednesday after Labor Day was the day to go.
Yeah.
That is not the case anymore because
Mm.
it was just insanely packed, and it was the hottest day of the year too. It was like 100. I mean, out here, anyways, it was like 105 degrees.
Yeah.
It was miserable, and it was just so many people there.
That sucks.
Yeah, man.
That's like the worst. You're all bundled up and you're stuck in line and just bunched up against a bunch of sweaty people who are angry as it is. Yeah, that's one thing. It is not the happiest place on earth. It is the most disgruntled place on earth.
Yeah, and frickin' money sucking place on earth.
Yeah.
You'll leave poor.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like my experience at Costco somewhat today.
I'm sure there's no way you walked out of there not spending at least $100, $200.
No, never. Between that and Trader Joe's, it's always at least 100 at each place.
Yeah, dude.
No.
It's
And Thanksgiving's like crazy. So even we started maybe last year. I was like, I'm tired of paying for the entire Thanksgiving for everyone. You're showing up with something or you're not getting in the door. So not even buying the full thing this year. It still costs over $100. I'm like, we didn't even get we didn't even get all of it because we're having people bring shit. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts, man, with inflation and everything. Hopefully things level out, but not yet to be seen.
And the marketing around it is so funny because they'll put like, we're selling you it at the 2019 prices. We're doing you a favor. I'm like, yeah, okay. Whatever, bro. I'm still looking at my wallet and crying.
Tears dripping into it.
Yeah,
And
I
money.
guess we do need to make the dressing. I guess we do need to do it. Go get it in the cart.
Damn.
This thing is not doing anything now.
The animal is still okay, DJ?
Yeah, it's good. No, my space heater, I don't even feel it. It's 2 feet away from me.
Just numb.
It's dying before it even gets to me. It's just white noise at this point.
You have to feel burning metal like right up on you.
Yeah. Well, I remember that last year when I got cold in the garage because I'd smoke with this hand, not in a glove, and I get inside. I had like burn on my hand, and I was like, that was stupid. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to make a video. But yeah, next day your hand's all chapped and gross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to get some O'Keefe's working hands because my hands just started getting so just dried and cracked recently.
Yeah.
That shit works though. If you ever experienced that, doing any sort of like manual stuff with your hands, like even not like just the weather just being so dry and crispy. That shit like overnight, that shit works.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll definitely use that behind the bar as a friend, because with how many times they make you wash your hands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. And tomorrow I'm going to my first NFL game. My first ever NFL game.
What?
Alright.
Really?
Yeah, never been to a football game before, NFL football game before.
You're going to SoFi?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Sunday Night Football, Chiefs Chargers.
You're
That
gonna
should
go
be
watch
fun.
Mahomes throw the ball to Kadarius Toney.
Hey, dude, he's been working out so far, man. Thank you.
Of course he's gonna work out. Whenever we cut a Giants receiver for being a diva, it always.
I mean, Odell didn't really flourish too much in Cleveland. You know, he was okay.
But with the Rams, he won a Super Bowl, and I mean, had he not have like torn his ACL in the beginning of the game, might have gave Cooper Kupp a run for MVP for the Super Bowl.
True that. No, that's a good point.
You know,
That's a really good point.
I mean, I think that when he went from Cleveland to the Rams, he had like a touchdown in his first like 5 games in a row or something like that, or
wow,
5 out of 7 games. Like I think that it's all about environment, right? And if you find a coach and a team that can really get behind a player, and like that's the beauty of Andy Reid, right? Is that he knows how to make things work, and he knows how to make players work and get the best out of them.
Smooth things out. Yes.
Yeah.
And I believe. Sorry, Michael. I was gonna say Smith Schuster's out, so that probably means more time for Tony.
I think who's the other wide receiver too with the injury? Is it Hardman?
Valdez Scantling, I think, is back, and Hardman's out.
Yeah. So you have 2, and then got 1 and Tony. So yeah, I mean between like Kelsey, Tony, and Scantling, like pretty solid.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. Our running game's been picking up too, so we'll see what happens, man. But like I always say, what's going on, dude?
What's up, Pam?
Our Greek buddy. 6:30 Sunday morning over here. Wow, you are up early, sir. Thank you for getting up. That dude is so like he's such a nice guy. Like, and he comments like every video too. Like he is.
Yeah.
I feel bad because like a lot of the stuff he can't get where he lives in Greece, you know. So he's like, oh, I wish I could get this here. It's like, fuck, man. I wish they'd make these available there for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so definitely nice, limited in the selection.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I am in Laguna Hills. I'm in Orange County, right next to LA.
Where the Davidoffs are $50 a piece.
Yes, unfortunately. Like for signature for a regular one. Like for like a year of the Tiger, year of the whatever, you're gonna be paying like $75 for those.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, the tickets we paid for are nosebleed tickets, and we paid $144 each.
That's not bad.
Nah.
For SoFi, you know, I just want to go for the experience, obviously, because you get a better experience watching a game at home, in my opinion. Well, I can't say that for sure because I'd never been to an NFL football game, but I'd imagine, like, to be able to see everything you want to see, you probably get a lot more detail watching it on your TV.
Yeah.
But I've heard... So sorry, I was gonna say I've heard SoFi is such an amazing, like, awe-inspiring stadium. I want to go and see it. Yeah,
they definitely have done a great job with the newer stadiums. Like, you know, we have Allegiant Stadium for the Raiders out here, and it's an experience. I think the last time that I watched an NFL game was the Chargers, versus the
Uh-huh.
Raiders in San Diego or
Mhm.
in California, and that stadium that just was not the move at all. Like it would have been so much better just watching it on TV. But the Raiders
Yeah,
stadium is awesome, and the Raiders Chiefs game last year was phenomenal. I had tickets for that through work, and it was an
that's
awesome
cool,
game.
dude. That's
Um,
cool.
but like we have the T-Mobile Arena for the Knights, and Hockey Live is like UFC live. Like it's just electric. You can see people getting smashed up against the boards, especially like if you get down to the ice seats. Like that's a great time. I think that's one of the best sports to watch live is hockey, UFC. Those two are like boxing. Those are all like, you know, so much better live.
I agree with hockey. Hockey, like I've never been a fan of hockey, but I will say out of all the professional sports I've seen live, which is not a lot. I've been to MLB games, obviously. I've never been to a basketball game, so I can't say that. But hockey, seeing that live, like you said, like hearing and feeling them being like friggin' jammed up against the boards, and
Mm,
like the usually with hockey stadiums they're smaller and like they build them like up like more narrow the seats and everything so you're more closer even if you're up in a higher seat but yeah, hockey live is friggin' it's fun as hell.
yeah.
Yeah, baseball is the antithesis of that.
I,
That's
I remember
especially
you talking about that.
if you don't have a radio, that is nap time.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It's such a
uh,
slow paced game to begin with and the stadiums are so huge and it's just
yeah,
yeah.
you could be there and not even know a baseball game was going on. It was so bad the last time I went. And then if you don't have a radio, you don't have any commentary. So there were times
Mhm.
where if you look around and no one even realized someone was hitting the ball just then, like
Yeah.
they're just hanging out. I'm like, this is y'all paid money for this and wanted to be here. That's crazy.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yep. Like somebody hits a grand slam, nobody even notices.
At one point, a guy hit a home run, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like
You
an
were you
indoor.
were you were at a Rangers game though, right?
Yeah, I was at a Rangers game, which was awful to begin with. And then it's an completely indoor stadium, which sounds cool. But then, like, if you go to Angels and an Angels player does something good, they'll like shoot off fireworks. You can't do that inside.
No, no, can't do
So
that.
I'm like, this is really nice that there's like AC. That's pretty cool because it was hot as hell the day we went. But I'm like, it's different. It's
Yeah,
like you weren't at like Rangers old stadium was cool. It felt like you're because it was a historical baseball stadium. So even though it was a
yep,
boring game when I went there, I'm like at least it felt like I was at a baseball game. This felt like I was just hanging out. It was weird.
yeah. And a
when
big
when the new Yankee Stadium got built, I went and I remember buying like just a basic like nosebleed bleacher creature kind of seat, and the team wasn't as good as it was the last couple of years, at least going to the playoffs. But I remember going there, and the stadium was so massive. I spent maybe the first 4 innings of the game just walking around the stadium to check everything out.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I look and I'm like, wow, we're already in the 5th inning. Holy shit, I need to go and sit down and actually watch the game. Because like there's so many TVs like throughout the entire stadium too. You can't miss the game at all from any spot. So it's just
Yep,
wild to see like just how massive the stadium is.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yep. I heard SoFi is friggin' huge, so I know it's gonna be like a mile long walk from where we're parking to the stadium. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, we're in California, so it's not like there's going to be inclement weather, so I'm not worried about that. It's just a
Yeah.
long way to walk, and we're still paying like $45 to park. Like I think if we were to park at the stadium, it would have been like $75, $80 to park.
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that
It's
was crazy.
ludicrous.
when we went, you're like, we're 2 miles away, and there's already like, hey, $15 to park here signs, and the closer you get, it just keeps going. I'm like, it's a 2 mile walk at this point, and people are just like, it's $15. I'm like, yeah, I guess, because as you got close, it is. It's like, yeah, $60. You want to be close? $60 extra dollars. I'm like,
It's insane.
this is ridiculous. I remember there was like one year we went. There's a small convention center near Ranger Stadium, and it was like Bead Fest for a crafter fair, and parking there was $20. So people were filling up that lot because it was only $20, and then it was across the street. And I'm like, I'm sure they cut down on that fast because they would. I'm like, I don't think all these people in Rangers jerseys are going to the bead show.
No, not a chance.
Yeah.
That's funny. That is funny, dude. So, DJ, the trip, I think you said you're going to be traveling. Is this your Smokies trip you're talking about?
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah,
First time visiting the Smokies.
Yeah, it's going to be freaking cold. That's what we were looking at. I was like, we got to buy all the girls all new coats because they do not have 27-degree coats right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun. I'm excited. It's not it's nothing like we've been doing for the past several years for vacations, so it'll be nice to just go somewhere new.
Yep. And it is beautiful there, and you should be getting fall colors there, I'd imagine, at this point.
Yeah, I hope so.
That'd be cool, man. Yeah, I went for the first time in May, and it was humid. Like, and being a Californian, not used to humidity, and that was the biggest thing. We stayed at like an Airbnb cabin, which is like so beautiful and picturesque.
Yeah.
Are you guys staying at a hotel or some Airbnb, Verbo?
We're doing a hotel this time because Airbnbs have gotten insane.
Yeah, especially this time of the year, holidays.
Yeah. Well, that may also be like, yeah, it's a X amount of cleaning deposit, but also before you leave, do a billion cleaning steps. I'm like, well, which is it? Am I cleaning your house, or am I paying someone for you to clean the house?
Yeah, not both. Not both, people. Come on.
It's crazy. But yeah, we're not staying too high up either because I think for where we wanted to go, the roads were like windy or something like that. And I'm like, have you driven up to Idlewild?
Yep.
Yeah. Doing that at night is not fun, and I don't want to do that on vacation.
Nope, that's not the way you want to spend you time.
No, Idlewild is fucking terrifying at night driving up that windy road. So I'm like, I'm cool. Let's just find a hotel somewhere normal.
Yeah.
And we'll travel up to the mountain when it's daytime.
Yeah. Idlewild, we went there last July, and we drove there after work Friday. So we drove up during the night, and it was it was not fun, man. No. And it's for one, it's really far from us, and then on top of that, when you get to where your destination is, you got to go up a fucking mountain.
And it's like Big Bear has big windy turns, but they're long. Idlewild are tight turns in the dark.
Yep, switchback. Yep, with no lights.
I'm like, nah, this sucks. And that was before I got my vision fixed, and I was like, I am terrified right now.
Yeah.
That reminds me of driving to Sedona from Vegas in the night.
Oof.
Like you go through Flagstaff and then you get into those switchback roads and everything, and it's it's pretty wild.
Yeah. And I'm sure, I've never been to Sedona, but I imagine at nighttime it is dark, right?
Yeah, especially when you're used to driving in a city like Vegas where everything's lit up. You're just like, man, this is like dark.
Yeah.
It's
like being on an alien planet.
Seriously. Yeah. But I remember we stayed at a nice Airbnb. I smoked a VSG out by the fire pit one night. Or not a VSG, It was an FSG. It was a Florida Sun Grown. And then We found a really nice ramen spot in Flagstaff on the way home. It's nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
That I've never had an FSG. I've had a cigar with FSG tobacco in it because I've had the American, which has that the wrapper, but I've still never had an FSG cigar.
Was not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to find one and send it to you in a little Christmas bomb when I get all these packages lined up.
Santa Frisdale.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Got to do it.
Yeah.
I'll look forward to it, man. Yeah, because I've heard either people love that cigar or hate that cigar. There's no middle ground.
Yeah, I think my problem was I watched a bunch of reviews of people just gushing over the thing, and then I smoked it. And I'm like, this is weird, and not like a good weird. It was just kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if it's a flavor that I got from the wrapper, the FSG wrapper, but the American had a ton of smoked barbecue. Just reminded me of just a ton of smoked barbecue flavors. So yeah, I don't know. I'll have to smoke the FSG to find out, see if I like it or not. But
Yeah,
I gotta. Sorry, DJ.
No, you're good.
Let's say I'm gonna go use the restroom, so I'll be right back, guys.
Gotcha.
Take these off.
Truck driver, yeah. Mountain unless it was summer. It's got to be very treacherous driving the big rigs.
Dude, that doesn't sound fun.
Absolutely. My uncle's a truck driver, and yeah, he's been doing that now for 30 plus years.
Yeah, my cousin does it. He hauls cars. So when you see like the trucks with 30 cars on the back, that's what you do.
And, with like the double deckers and stuff, triple deckers.
Yeah. So he stopped going, and he refused to go to the East Coast because he said there's so many just different overpass sizes. He's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not just having to go somewhere and then find my way out. So he moved to Texas, and then now he wasn't doing it up and down the West Coast in California. Moved to Texas, and now he works in California driving the trucks, but still lives in Texas. So he'll fly out to California, drive for a couple months, and then come back just because he refused to do anything on the East Coast.
Wow.
I'm like, that's a bit much.
Yeah, but, I mean, got to make it work for you, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. If you just hate living in California that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd never want to go back, but it's fun to visit.
How long did you live in California?
23 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I hated it. By the time I got to the point I knew I was leaving, I'm like, I don't want to be here. It's just not good. The main thing is the people. Like when I first started visiting Texas, I'm like, oh, this is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
But people are like, how could you leave? I'm like, well, I'm not rich and living in LA where it's like the lifestyle you see on TV. So it's not the same. Like it's just not. But people don't understand that. I'm like, it's a huge state, man. It's not what you see for most part.
No, and it's like my aunts lived in New York for a while. My wife lived in New York for a while, and it's the same thing. If you're living in New York and you have money, it's completely different than living in New York and trying to make it work.
Yeah. No, I've seen the big trend on TikTok before. I think it was last year. And it was people trying to find or prove that they had the smallest apartment in New York. And it kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller to the point like dude, that's a literal closet. Mm-hmm. You are in a literal closet paying as much as I do for my mortgage. Why?
Right.
Like I get it. I get it if you're trying to like make it in that specific atmosphere, but that has to be such a small amount of the actual people living there. The rest are just like, well, I want to live in New York. Well, good luck.
Yeah.
If I had a ton of money, yeah.
If you have a specific field that requires you to be in those like coastal areas, then yeah, by all means you do your thing. But at the end of the day, like
that's just crazy. I couldn't imagine. Like I get it. I do, but when you compare it, like I saw a video just the other day, and a guy was comparing like living in the city to living in East Texas. And I'm like, bro, he's like, I'm just showing you how much further your dollar can go. I'm like, yeah, but you're still wealthy and living in East Texas. So that's not my dollar. That's still more money than I have. You have basically like a mansion just in the middle of nowhere. It's still not the same place. It's like it's cool you got a ton of land. You still had more money than me to begin with. Like, it's crazy.
Is East Texas known for being like barren?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even just like West Texas. I mean, that's you're gonna get blown away by a tornado. But people will pick like, yeah, I'm living in the middle of butt fuck nowhere. Look how far my dollar goes. Like that is true. If you started out with way more money to begin with, then yeah, you're going to be super comfortable. It's the perspective that people lack.
Yep. All right, you guys want to pick my next cigar here?
All right.
Okay, we have DJ. You're probably familiar with this one, especially recently. Undercrown 10.
All
yeah,
right.
you can't see right now, huh?
No, I'm watching the stream. I'm like 3 seconds behind.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys all decked out.
We have it all decked out.
Yeah.
We have Mil Dias Madanitos, the limited edition from this year. Crown heads. Have a birthday blend, the gold. Michael, I put this on the docket to potentially have.
mm-hmm.
We have then we have Eduardo, Licenciamo Fuerte Eduardo the First.
I gotta throw this up here.
Let's go ahead and pick. Actually, I don't have this. I don't have that one here. But that's a damn good. That's a damn good suggestion, though.
He's like, I'll get back up and go outside real quick.
And then Almado Campo. It's been a while since I've had one of these. And then I may save this one for a little nightcap, actually, as a third cigar. It's not really focusing for the shit right now. The JSK Nugs. Yeah. So which one, guys?
I like the all decked out. It's a good cigar, man.
And this one has a year of age on it. So looking for, and the first one I had, that Michael, is it okay if I have the all decked out?
Yeah, go for it. Of course. Of course. I actually smoked one of those this past week.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
The first one I had was just like a little bit rough, I remember. And also it kind of like blew up on me once I took off the band, like the wrapper. So I've been wanting to try this one lately, and now's the perfect opportunity. Which size did you have it in, Michael?
Same size. Toro, I believe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Freaking TKB. Just pick the damn phosphorus already.
I need to smoke that one too.
Yeah, we had a dinner event, and the restaurant is in the same shopping center as one of the few lounges that has a full liquor license that's off strip here in town. Mm-hmm. It's called La Casa, and I went over there afterwards. One of my buddies has a box over there and had one of the Undercrown UC10s.
Nice. And I'm glad that they're, it's all decked out. Well, I'm glad that they're like continuing to release it as its own line too.
Yeah, they had a big booth for the new blackened with the whiskey as like the side
Pairing.
yeah, the pairing booth next to it, because that's like their new big push at Big Smoke. So I picked up a couple of blackens. I had one that night as part of the slew of cigars, the assortment of cigars that I went through at Big Smoke, and it was decent. I have to say that it didn't captivate me the same way as the UC10 did. That's for sure.
Okay. Like similar kind of profile, like obviously like a dark, robust profile.
Definitely more robust. The Oscuro is, thank you. Got my heated turtle, which is now the new mascot. Thank you.
Nice.
So the profile is more robust, darker, Oscuro wrapper, definitely more fermentation time to it, oily. It's good. It reminded me a little bit of the Excalibur Oscuros from Hoya, and maybe it was because I had the Excalibur, earlier in the week, that it was just right there at the forefront of my mind. But
Yeah.
it was good. I still like the UC10 though better. I have a couple of more. I'll have to send you one and get your take on it while I do a review of the other one.
Yeah. Maybe. Sorry.
No, sorry to interrupt you, but I was going to say that originally I had the blackened whiskey for the first time at one of the whiskey shows last year in Vegas at the Cosmopolitan Hotel, and everybody was raving about the whiskey. I was not a particularly like big fan of it.
Is it like for whiskey, is it supposed to be like really like robust, spicy kind of whiskey? How is it supposed to be?
So I didn't have the opportunity to really look at the backstory of it, but if I pull up some notes on it now, I know that the whole entire like connection with Metallica was that they played audio waves in the rick house while the whiskey's aging to kind of induce more fluctuation between the wood and the whiskey interacting together and make it age a little bit differently. And as is that a plane? Yeah. As silly as that sounds, it's something that a couple of like the mezcal brands and other brands have utilized audio frequencies and sound waves in order to influence, I guess, the aging process with the barrels.
Okay.
And they play supposedly Metallica songs.
So when you started explaining it, I automatically started like thinking like, started smirking like this sounds like bullshit. But like after you explained it, like there's kind of a science to it. I can see how maybe that could have an effect on the flavor, maybe by just making things interact more.
Yeah, and I noticed that two of the things that they had at the show that were different from the original one that I tasted that I wasn't as big of a fan of. And the original one is 45%, 90 proof. So it's pretty much your standard kind of like whiskey lineup. But they had the Kentucky Rye, which is finished in Madeira and rum casks. And it's like 5 to 8 years. And then they had the Willet version, which is like another higher end in the lineup, and both of those were much better than just the standard blackened line. So, maybe there's something there in the other expressions. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the standard line that I had last year was not captivating at all.
Okay. And I was gonna say maybe by the next time a Drew Estate freestyle comes out, we could be a part of it. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe though.
Maybe
There's a chance.
Man.
They'll still send it to the channels that don't even post videos anymore. You'll see Instagram posts with nothing on it. You will?
Oh man. Yeah, that's when you know. That's when you know, like they're just a number on a list. You
Yeah.
know, at that point.
You're on the marketing mail out list, and that's it.
Yeah.
Someone tried to
Yeah.
deliver something today through UPS, and it got rejected because it needed an adult signature, which is the first time that's ever happened. But
Yeah.
I didn't get
Anything.
it.
What?
Huh?
That could have. It could have been Saka. Because anything UPS has to be anything tobacco UPS needs to be signed for, no matter what.
When Villiger does that, they don't check tobacco because they've just left it on my doorstep before.
Yeah, which is smart because they probably know there's a chance that there will be nobody home. You know.
Yeah. So I got a little notice. I'm gonna do that. Call that Monday. I was just like, interesting, because I have notifications set up for my UPS, and I didn't get an email or anything. I just got a note when I got home.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, you know, there could be multiple companies sending stuff out for you, but just knowing for sure that Saka will be sending stuff out. That's probably my guess.
Yeah, I would have made sure I had alerts turned on, but I'm just like, man, I gotta get on that on Monday because they're closed tomorrow.
You're right.
Alrighty, boys. Number 2, what are we having? Are we doing the Flathead, the Nicaragua series, or the Diamond Crown?
Oh, the Flathead always. I mean,
Flathead?
You like if you're going Flathead, I'll go Flathead because that's a damn good cigar.
Okay.
And it's a cigar that's a good follow-up cigar because it has a lot of body.
I agree. That Botticelli, that was really nice.
Yeah, they're like another brand that I hear either people love them or hate them and think that they're way too expensive for what you get. Which I understand. They are very expensive cigars, and it's also a brand that not a lot of people are familiar with. It's not really in the kind of luxury space you always associate to being with, like, you know, Padron, higher end Fuentes, traders. Yeah, Flathead is definitely a solid smoke. But yeah, with El Septimo, it's like there's no middle ground with them, as far as what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like people's perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that Flathead is a damn good cigar. And honestly, I've had that one, the one you're smoking, Michael. I still think I prefer the 660, the carb.
Yeah.
Over that one.
Mm-hmm. I haven't had the opportunity to try that yet. It's only been this 554. This will be my third one, I think, overall.
And out of the ones available, that would usually be my preferred size.
Yeah.
But there's just something about that 660 that was it really hit the spot for me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to pick one up.
The big block's about the same as the 662.
As far as the experience, the overall flavor experience.
Yeah, it was, once it hit that size, it was just more.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
It's just, you know, whenever I see a 660, it's never the first option if I'm trying out a line for the first time, right? And Matt, you sent me like 3 of these. So
yes.
I have quite a few to smoke, but I will pick up a 660 and try it, because anytime that a 660 is that great, like with the Plasencia Fuerte, Sixto, like, you know, it becomes a go-to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my go-to size now. 660.
They do make really good blends, specifically blended for that size now. Like back when 660s came out initially, it felt like it was just an afterthought. Like they just did it for the aesthetic. Yeah. They did it because like people felt like they got more bang for their buck, which, you know, you did because you got more tobacco. But this is probably like 2014, you know, early 2010s when 660s started really becoming like part of lines, you know. I just felt like at the time The 660s in any given line was just like a more washed out version of it.
Yeah.
And my perception is slowly changing the more 660s I have, because they are making cigars that are specifically blended for that ring gauge.
Yeah. Well, and like that was like a gimmicky size back then, and then Asylum was like hold my beer, and now 660 looks perfectly normal.
It does. It does. And like and we talked about this before, but especially when you get a 660 that has like a taper tip or like a chisel tip, it doesn't smoke like a 660.
Yeah.
The Andalusian Bull, prime example. That thing gets up to a 64 ring gauge. It's one of the best cigars I have ever had. I don't care. That cigar is phenomenal.
I would argue at $18 that cigar is one of the best cigars that has ever been created, period. Like for its price point, the only shitty part is really the availability on it is sketch, but even with the availability kind of being sketched, it's never really gouged that bad, at least not yet. Fingers crossed. Like you don't ever have to deal with like Opus pricing or Anejo pricing or anything like that.
If you're able to find them when they first come in stock, because like you said, availability. So if you're able to find them before they go out of stock, you can get them less than $200 a box, which is $18 a stick, 180. That's totally reasonable. But like the places that do have them available are the places that are selling 5-packs for the price you'd pay for a full box. They're selling them for like $36 for a cigar. And those obviously are the places that have them in stock because they're selling them at gouging prices.
Yeah.
But man, guys, that bowl that I had with 5 years of age on it, holy crap! I've never gotten like a honey note that was that distinct honey that just had like a residual honey flavor on my palate. I've never experienced that before. It was beautiful. Fucking incredible, guys.
That's awesome. Yeah, those sticks, they treat you so well, like for years to come.
Yeah. Dominican tobacco, guys. That's special stuff.
Well, I mean, going back to the 660 argument too, I would say that one of the early adopters of the size that did such a great job with their blend, and it's something that I probably have to like put on the channel because I feel as though nobody talks about it and it's been around for forever. La Flor Dominicana, 660, DL 700, those double ligeros back in the day, those were, if you liked a really strong smoke, I mean, they put it together in that line, and those weren't even as strong sometimes as like the Chiselito, and some of the other ones that they had in the double Ligero line because they had so much tobacco in them, but they were tasty.
Yeah. Is that the one with the foot band?
I don't believe so.
There's one, I forget, and I know my local shop has one, but it is a bigger ring gauge. I don't know if it's like a special blend or whatever, but I believe it has like a golden foot band.
Huh.
I could be totally
been so long since I've seen one.
Yeah.
Like in the wild.
Mm-hmm. Man, and speaking of strong cigars, that Cajonu 2015, for being a little Robusto, that thing put me on my ass. I haven't experienced a nicotine kick like that for probably like 5 years. That thing, and my tolerance has definitely been growing because I've been smoking more often for the channel. But that thing, for being a 5x55 Robusto, holy crap, that thing was strong. That was such a strong cigar.
They'll get you, man.
Man, I've never had any Cajonu put me on my ass like that one.
Interesting.
I want to say maybe it was 2003's Cajonu 2003 or 2005, maybe.
2003 is that's one of my all-time favorite cigars. That's the Toro Extra. It's like a 6.5 by 54 or something like that.
Yeah, 2003.
I've
It must be.
Yeah, I've never that cigar. I've never had any sort of issues with nicotine. Like it's just always been a very flavorful, pleasurable cigar. But that 2015, oh God, it's like I think there could be something there with that blend because there's so much nicotine. You know, it probably had to have been fresh because there's not much. There hadn't been enough time for the nicotine to kind of leave the cigar. So I think there could be potential smoking that cigar down the line with age, but I don't want to after the experience that I had, man.
Yeah.
But I would be interested. I would be interested in seeing DJ smoke that cigar because I know your tolerance is so high. See if it affects you at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Well, I've gotten a couple sent in that they're like boasting about how strong the cigar is in their marketing, and whenever that happens, I'm always underwhelmed. Like,
Yeah.
it's the cigars that don't say anything about it, and I'm like, oh shit, that out of nowhere. Okay, that's always way more fun. But I think if it says it's a strong cigar, I'm like going into it waiting for it to hit. But it's
Yes.
it always hits me more when it's out of nowhere. Like
Yeah.
the La Bamba that was sent in. That's like it's gonna knock you on your ass. I'm like, okay,
601. Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, it reminds me a lot of the Flathead as far as like the sizing because it's a Fox Press 660, I think. And I'm like, yeah, this just sounds fun. Like that size is just because I like the flathead so much. I'm like that. I pick it up. I'm like, this gonna be a good cigar. Even if it's not, it automatically thinks in my brain because it's that tactile feel.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, man. 601s. I remember having the which one is it called? The Emerald, the green band one.
Mm.
La Punta was the size, and it's a little figurado. And this is like when I first got into smoking. Those things kick my ass as far as like nicotine strength goes. Little short figurado, like a 5.5 by 52 figurado. That thing kicked my butt.
Yeah.
But I mean, anything Lazona. I mean, I always get a ton of pepper, but I don't necessarily get a lot of nicotine strength.
Yeah, that was the thing I mentioned in the chat. That little Perdomo I smoked, it wasn't strong nicotine, but it was like I snorted black pepper. Like even just puffing on the cigar was like I was trying to do a line of black pepper. I'm like, this is insane, and it was like a little cigarillo size. Like this is stupid.
Yeah, yeah,
Like who would enjoy this?
yeah. Mm. Yeah, this Underground 10 is pretty solid, man. And even though the Sakakon, it had a ton of flavor and definitely left an impression on my palate, I'm still able to pick up like a lot of espresso, chocolate syrup off this Underground 10. It's the pepper has definitely smoothed out with a year of age on it. Thank the heavens.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved how toothy that wrapper was. I felt like I could bite it and it wouldn't even mess up the cigar.
Yeah, it's a thick fucking wrapper.
Yeah. This one's pretty good too as far as heftiness.
Connecticut broadleaf, dude, always a thick, robust, rustic wrapper.
Yeah, it's like sandpaper.
Mm-hmm. Are you liking the flavors? Are you liking like the overall profile?
Yeah, it's good. It's really smooth, which is always enjoyable.
Yeah. I know nicotine strength, that I think that kicked Keelan's butt in his review because I sent him one. I've had a couple. The ones that I smoked first, which is the one I did for review, I didn't notice any nicotine kick. But then I got some more from another box, and I definitely felt the nicotine kick in them. Not to the point to where the 2015 Kahonu got me, but I definitely felt it.
Yeah. No, it woke me up. I'll say that. Which is it's good. It was a long ass day. The entire like for 4 hours while I was out with the kids. I felt like someone was trying to drill through the back of my eyeballs. It was bad, man. I fell asleep last night without my night guard in, and it fucked my mouth up.
Oh, dude, that stinks.
Yeah,
Well, at least you're able to smoke today.
yeah, and I'm like, all right, and it gets hurt all day. I'm like, at this point, it can't get like worse today. I might feel it tomorrow, but I'm not gonna feel it today.
Yeah.
Later,
Have a good
Q-tip.
one, Q-tip. Thanks for hanging out, man. Hmm.
Yeah, as a truck driver, you got to be careful with that.
Yep. You just got to get the strong nicotine stuff.
Yeah, man. Good cigar.
Yeah, I believe La Galera, their farms are in the La Canela Valley. Same place where LFT grows their tobacco.
Okay.
So you'll get some similarities with their
Yeah.
stuff.
That's another brand, man. I really like their cigars. Hard and smoky.
LFD.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had original? Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you guys hear that?
What happened?
I don't know.
I'm getting
Oh,
like
was that
gnarly
because
feedback.
Sorry, hold on 1 second.
It's like slow motion too.
We all sound like drunk robots.
How's that? Is that better?
I think so.
Let's see. I
Yeah,
think we're good.
Okay, that was my fault. Sorry, everybody.
I thought like we all sounded like drunk robots for like 20 seconds right there.
It's weird that it slowed it down.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Matt?
I totally fucking forgot, dude. My train of thought is just out the window.
It was something about
LFD
the floor.
originals, I believe.
Oh,
So about what?
LFD original.
Oh yeah, DJ, have you ever had the original bowl, the Andalusian bowl?
no, just the one you said.
That's got to change, dude. That's a fuck, man. I wish I had because that's like that particular Andalusian bowl I've had. It's like because you know like what I do with this, like I carry a bunch of cigars with me, like going to places and like I pick out a cigar to smoke. I've had that cigar and have traveled with that cigar so many fucking times during the course of 5 years as like an option to like light up at like a friend's house or at a lounge or whatever, and have never smoked it. Just because it's such a big cigar, you know, I just always smoke something else. So finally, when it came down to brass tacks, I'm like, I gotta review this thing. I gotta smoke this thing. This thing has age on it. I gotta do my due diligence and review it, and finally made it happen. But I so wish I had more with that amount of age on it because it was just so incredible.
Yeah, when I smoked mine, D-Lev was like, "It's your cigar, but you're ruining it right now." Because I smoked it so soon after I got. I'm like, yeah, like I'm not. I don't even. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing this in 5 years. I gotta make the video now.
Yeah, through that, and I've also heard a lot of people say that they feel like that cigar is a lot different than the original Andalusian bowl, just because of the size difference.
Yeah. Yes.
So
it's definitely not even close to being similar. The original's that's a unique looking monster.
yeah. It's a beautiful smoking experience though. And I gotta like get on some like notifications to be notified as to like when those go back into stock at places so I can get some more.
Yeah.
And not pay like, $50 a cigar.
Yeah. Well, isn't that part of what the NFT was? Is it that size that they're limiting the production of?
No, the NFT one is, I believe it's a Lonsdale. So I
Okay.
think it's somewhere like a 6.5 or 6 3/4 by 44 ring gauge.
Wow. So they didn't even get like the proprietary blend or size. That's weird to
Yeah,
pay that much. That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. Is it probably a really good cigar? Probably, but I heard the places that were shops that did buy the access to get those cigars. I
Yeah.
heard that those shops are paying or are charging upwards of like $200 per cigar.
They have to.
Yeah, I mean, if they bought it in an effort to try and make back their investment, yes, they have to. But still, even charging $200 a cigar to
Yeah.
make back like a 10, what are they charging? Like $90,000 or
Yeah.
something like that?
The red for a long time.
Yeah, it's not. They're never going to make back that investment unless they're like planning on doing it over 20 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What was the last cigar you had that you were really disappointed by?
Uh, was one
Mine was
recent.
the Viaje Private Keep, the lemon,
The
because it was a
lemon.
lemon.
It was fitting its
It
name. Yeah.
was, you got a lemon, dude.
I got a lemon. I was kind of sad that the Pina didn't perform better for you.
And that's the thing, like, dude, Viaje from blend to blend, like it's such a fucking crapshoot. Like,
It
and
is.
it's and even like, I mean, it was a fresh compared to where you'd usually want to smoke your Viajes, but because I bought uh 2 Robustos and 2 Toros. I smoked a Toro, not for review. It was just kind of like a bland. Yeah, Keelan's not the biggest fan. I smoked a Toro, and it was just kind of bland, kind of just a dark, muddled profile, whatever. At the same time, my wife was smoking one of the Robustos, and I smoked hers, and hers was flavorful, nice, had like some sweetness to it. It was a very good cigar. And so I had one left of each. I had one left of the Toro and one left of the Robusto. So I'm like, okay, I like the Robusto more because of the one I've tried for my wife having. So I said, I'm going to do that for the review. And from one Robusto to the other, completely freaking different cigar.
Mhm.
Because that Robusto is just nothing but pepper, just totally off balance, just not enjoyable whatsoever. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, just not even just from like blend to blend, but like cigar to cigar, it just changes so much.
Weird.
True. I agree. And it's really hard too with Viaje because of the fact that, if you're reviewing as many cigars as we do, I mean, you and I both put out at least 3 reviews a week for the most part. And when you're going through and, you can't necessarily invest in a box on every single cigar. A cigar could be box worthy. And,
Yes.
there's several that we smoke in a given month that, we would recommend as box worthy smokes, but, we're not going to be able to revisit them probably until, another month or two down the road when we're out having, a cigar with our friends or by ourselves or whatever. And it's really tough to say,
Yeah.
hey, with Viaje, it's kind of like Cubans, right? If 5 of them are bad out of a box of 25, or if 10 of them are bad out of a box of 25, then it makes it less likely to be a box worthy stick. So you're really taking such a small sample size.
Yep. Yeah, it stinks, man. And just to be able to find the time to smoke cigars for our own enjoyment, like you can't depend on quality control like that to be able to count on having a good cigar for yourself later on.
Right.
Yeah.
DJ, are you paying people on the side to recommend the Asylum 9 to us all to smoke?
I am not, but they are. They want to see it happen, man.
Hmm.
It's a good cigar. It's a good cigar. It's a long
That'll
ass
have to
time
be
commitment.
the Asylum the Asylum 9 live stream.
Yeah, we were on here for 4 hours straight.
My God.
You
Yeah,
hit that wall and like, I don't want this anymore.
I bought that cigar with all the intentions to smoke it. Like I was like, I'm gonna smoke this for a view. It's gonna be a popular video. It's gonna do like a lot of views, whatever. Like I don't care if it's a 990. I'm gonna smoke it for the channel. I saw that thing. I opened up the box. Like no, I cannot do this. This is just too fucking insanely huge. Like it's just. And DJ, I give you props, man. Like I know you're more of a fan of bigger ring gauge stuff, which is why I said it to you. But the fact that you saw that cigar and said, "Okay, I'm doing this," props. Because I was just like, I cannot. It's like smoking a rocket.
Yeah, and you haven't done anything near that size. So that's
not even close. Not even close.
That's a big jump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the biggest cigar. Sorry, DJ. I would say the biggest cigar I've smoked has been that Lorenz, the Castagli, which is not, it's a long cigar, but it's not. It tops out at like a 56 ring gauge or something. Nothing as far as ring gauge goes. Nothing comes close to the 990.
No, I mean when you puff on it for a half hour and it hardly looks like you've touched the cigar, you're like, oh shit, it's bad. But yeah, it's a fun cigar. There's definitely a wall, though. I mean, there's a wall with normal sized cigars where like I'm kind of done, but with that, you're like, I got at least 3 more hours.
Do you think if they released that cigar in maybe like a 5x90, that it would be something that you would want to go back to?
Well, I think they did they. I know they released. So they released the 10 this year, right?
Like 10-inch?
No, it's just called like the Asylum. Asylum's naming convention is weird because they have the 13 and then it's in various sizes, and then they have like the 9 was I think just an anniversary cigar, and then they randomly one year were like, haha, April Fools, here's a giant donkey dick of a cigar, and then everyone was like, I'll take it.
Yeah,
so they did. But then this year they've been releasing the Asylum 10. So I don't know what that is, but yeah, if it had the flavor profile, the first 2/3, phenomenal cigar. I mean, super good. But I don't know if they could do that small. I would assume they could do it smaller, but I don't know if there was some magic amount of how much filler it needed to get that sweetness.
Yeah,
it was a good cigar. Like the first 2 hours were fantastic.
Because that was the theory behind the Oliva nubs. To the best part of a cigar was, for a lot of people, they're saying the best part of a cigar was the final third. So they're just gonna cut off, a cigar and make it a short, stubby cigar.
Yeah. And but I smoked a 6x80 and it was not nearly as good as just a regular Asylum 13.
Okay. I saw Nathany's comment. Has anyone tried the Woody by Oscar? That's like, what is it, like a 12-inch or no? I think it's like an 18-inch or some crazy thing like that.
Supposedly it's a 90 ring gauge as well. I didn't know. No.
Nope. I saw Daily. Yeah, I saw Daily did it, and they just recently did it again.
Yeah. It's just.
There's never a situation I will ever be able to smoke that cigar. Like I'm not going to do it for the channel. If I said no to the Asylum 990, I'm not going to do anything bigger than that.
Like it also just that was just such a beating. Like you wouldn't want to do it anymore. Like I didn't want to smoke the cigar for several days after doing the 990.
Dude, what are the gems?
21 by 100.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I got to stop touching my throat. That's terrible.
Like I wouldn't. I mean, obviously, with the dollar amount, you could it could happen, but somebody would have to pay me a large sum of money just to attempt to smoke that thing, just because it could scar you, you know, and like you wouldn't want to smoke anymore.
What if you liked it? What if you liked it? You never. Hey, pause.
Do these come in boxes? Boxes of 20?
That's insane. That's just it. There's no way you could be like get halfway through that cigar and be like, all right, double it. What I just did. No way.
No.
Man.
Yeah, that's a display piece you would have in like a bar or like a man cave or whatever. Like the 990. It's almost there to the point to where you could just have it for display, and it would probably be sweet to display. Especially, it's a beautiful presentation, beautiful looking cigar, beautiful band, all that stuff. But it is also within the realm of possibility to smoke it passively.
Yeah. Yeah, and it would have been a whole lot better of an experience.
That's a great comment, Keelan. Japanese digital blur.
The mosaic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I'm sure it would have been an even better cigar if I did not lose an hour's worth of audio. I'm sure.
Yeah, where like this blur is right here, it would be like
all the way down.
It'd be off the camera. Like the cigar would reach Matt's box on the live stream.
yeah, it would cross over. Oh man.
Michael, what's the biggest cigar you've smoked?
Pause. So I want to say it's the DL700 by La Flor Dominicana, which was a 770 back in the day, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Like that. I know that DJ sent me the Texas Lancero, so I still have that. That's a 770. I saw that Project 40 recently did Alec Bradley did a 770 in that line.
Really?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I think that CI had it posted on their page.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think the DL700, that was the largest cigar that I think that I've ever smoked.
I think the LFD Digger, I think that's a 8x60. I think that's the biggest cigar I've ever smoked.
That's cool.
Wasn't a good cigar, but that's the biggest cigar I've ever smoked.
Yeah, I haven't had a Digger.
Oh, you know what? I apologize. The DL700 is actually a 6.5 by 60.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, because they didn't make 770 ring gauges back then when that cigar came out. That's why I had to look it up. I was just like, I don't know. I don't even know if 70 ring gauges were a thing back then.
Yeah, and you'd think with like the name DL700, like the 7 would be something to do with the size.
I mean, I guess it's one of those where it would be funny to walk around like TPE or PCA or one of the trade shows smoking one of those. Like interview Matt Booth with his big 100 by whatever.
Yeah. Next year we all walk around with Woodies.
With Woodies. I got a Woody for you, Boofy.
He was promoting the Sancho Panza booth at Big Smoke, and I remember walking up to the booth and he just started chucking them at me.
Yeah.
As soon as he saw me.
Yeah,
he told me that he was willing to come on a live stream. We're gonna have to coordinate that if we can get him and Saka involved.
Yeah,
that would be fun. That would be fun with Boofy and Saka too. But that would be fun with either of them.
Yeah, man. I get to the point where we gotta actually like name this thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I just I saw Boofy. He was on a Smoke In live stream either yesterday or the day before, because they're having some like promotional event for Room 101 stuff. So he gets around. He gets around, and he makes himself available, which is great.
Yeah, man.
The smart one.
I was like, you're just doing the Sancho thing like right now. He's like, yeah, we're out here, doing the thing, and I smoked one that night. kind of reminded me a little bit of the Farce in the forget which one I had, if it was the extra strong or I have to look. I have a couple that he threw at me. So
Was it red band, blue band, or
red band.
red band? That was the extra for or extra something. Extra
I think it's
forte.
extra
I think.
forte.
Yeah.
Well,
I wasn't a fan, but I had it in a Robusto. Maybe it's better in another size. Jordan 23 Lancero. I haven't even heard of that.
they got J's coming out. What do we got here? Jordan 23 Lancero.
Because his favorite cigar is the Lusitanius, right?
I believe so. Partagas.
Yeah. Yep. Staying warm enough, DJ?
Half of me is. The right side, I'm contemplating how I can move my space heater closer, but I don't know if that's possible. I had to like get an extension cord into a power strip into an extension cord at that point. I'm like, oh, is that one
see
too many?
To see the tree and all the lights go out behind you.
Dude, well that's how it is. Cause like the wall mounted heater, I'm like, I could put that right up behind me, no problem. But that one little outlet has so much plugged into it already. Every time I plug something else, I'm like, all right, cross my fingers, we're good.
It's funny that you mentioned that, EKB, because I was just about to say I want to know what he was smoking. Oh, MJ23 by Alex. Okay, yeah, because I remember watching The Last Dance. I put it on when I'm about to fall asleep now because I've seen it so many times. But I put it on let's see, when was my team meeting? I had a team meeting Thursday morning, so I put it on Wednesday because I could immediately fall asleep to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing that he was smoking that big ass Lancero in it. So thank you for letting me know. So I was just about to say I was watching The Last Dance this past week.
Nice. Well, you said by Alex. By Alex who?
Let's see.
I haven't heard anything about him coming out with his own cigar.
MJ23 Double Lancero by Alex. Alejandro Gonzalez. So that's
Is that the guy that does stuff for McAuliffe?
No, that's Illegato. That's a custom Cuban, right?
Ah. No wonder I've never heard of it.
Yeah, Alejandro Gonzalez Arias.
Mm-hmm. Well, if there's anyone who can get a custom Cuban made for him, it's Michael Jordan.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like the last cigar that really disappointed me. Because that means like disappointment means like I would have to have high anticipation for it. I'm racking my brain. It'd probably just be the Kahonu, the 2015. Just because I have such high regard for that line, the Kahonu line. That'd probably be it.
It's a max.
Let's see here, suckers. Oh, Steve, you had the Stillwell Star of the holiday.
Nice.
It's good to hear.
Steven, is that does it have like holiday flavors? Kind of like, either, pumpkin or some sort of like mulling spice flavors to it, or is it just like another kind of, pipe tobacco blend? I am interested in trying that one.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's people are liking it.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, I've heard this. EKB. I have not had the M yet. I actually want to try the Weller by Cohiba, specifically because of the tie-in with the whiskey. But after my Fireball experience, maybe I'll wait.
Yeah, I'm pretty darn sure the Cohiba Weller would go a little bit better. I'm pretty darn sure. I mean, and that's just given the fact that you just had such an awful experience with the Fireball.
I mean, I was not expecting anything crazy. The Fireball rep and I, we were talking about it because she was nice enough to procure the cigars for me. And she was like,
Yeah.
hey, just make sure that, because like my family wants a couple to smoke for ourselves and stuff. So just, on the 5-pack, just leave us a couple. And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, you could have all of them. But I would recommend you don't.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm never gonna smoke that cigar.
No.
I think I've only
Thanks for
had
doing the hard work.
Fireball whiskey a couple times. I remember liking it though.
Yeah.
Like not in a good way, but like
it is what it is, right? Like it captured the hearts and minds of so many for a while because it was that aftershock kind of whatever thing, and it has its place in the world. And it, like I said in the video, there's drinks and applications that Fireball works in just fine. Like got no problems with Fireball whatsoever. They've helped pay a mortgage payment here or there by just being able to sell it, right? So I have benefited from its existence. But
Yes.
it was really popular for a time.
Yeah, like it's great for what it is. Like and this is coming as in college I drank a ton of Jägermeister. I was a huge Jägermeister fan. Still love Jägermeister for what it is, and I understand that's not everybody's cup of tea anymore either. Whoops. Dog is mad. Barking at somebody.
What's that spirit that has like the golden flakes in it that has a cinnamony taste?
Goldschlager.
Yeah,
Goldschlager. To me, like I've never had Fireball just because it came out more recently, and it's just I haven't been a drinker recently. But I do remember Goldschlager and it having that the golden flakes along with the cinnamony taste. And I'm like, anytime like I sniff Fireball, I'm like, this reminds me a lot of Goldschlager.
I guess that the way that I would describe the two is that Goldschlager has more texture and it's more viscous on your palate than Fireball.
Okay.
But those gold flakes, man, coming up, not an experience that I ever want to revisit, and that's why I've stayed away for a number of years.
Supposedly, if you filter them all out, it's enough gold to buy another bottle. Someone did the math on TikTok once.
That's amazing.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I never would have thought of that. You bring it into a We Buy Gold place just in a Ziploc baggie. Like,
I was actually in California when that happened. I remember I was working at Best Buy at the time, and they were just starting like their new customer centricity thing where you had like personal shopping assistants and like specific sales segments for certain things that because they were adding Magnolia Hi-Fi from California to all the stores out here, and then they were creating the Geek Squad for the first time. and making it more like the Genius Bar. So
Mhm.
they sent everybody from Vegas that was going to be part of these test kind of stores to California to visit the Chino Hills store, because that was, I don't know if I've said it before, but that was like one of the highest grossing revenue stores in the West Coast, right? So we
Wow.
went out to Chino Hills, and then we went to visit that store, and for 3 days we basically had a summit. And it was one of those corporate retreat kind of summits, but it was with a whole bunch of like 17 to 21-year-old kids.
Yeah.
And there was like one bar that stayed open till like 10 o'clock at night. And, whether some of us were of legal age or some of us just had IDs that said that we were, be 21 and be responsible, everybody that's watching this. But, we found our way to that bar. And I remember drinking a whole bunch of Goldschlager one night and smoking a couple of cigars. And yeah, it did not work out very well.
Hey, man. Memorable experience either way.
Oh, boy. Boy, oh, boy.
Yeah, is that doing what you're doing now, Michael, and like knowing like a slew of different cocktails and everything? Are there like applications for Goldschlager that, would make for a tasty drink?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one of the biggest resurgences, one of the biggest cocktails specifically that has kind of found its way back into the mix just this year alone has been the espresso martini, especially in Vegas.
Okay.
And I think that Goldschlager would work awesome in a lot of those kind of applications with coffee. The Carajillo, which has Liquor 43 and espresso in it. And Liquor 43 is another one of those like spicy, semi-sweet liqueurs that has those spices. The Liquor 43 is more citrusy, and it comes as like a yellow color.
Mm-hmm.
But it has the cinnamon clove allspice kind of mix going on with it, and that works out great with coffee. So any of those drinks, eggnog, like I said in the Fireball video, those you can make classic cocktails taste great with some of the modern liqueurs like that.
Yeah. I've always wanted it. I never even heard of an espresso martini before, but as soon as I heard that, somebody say that, I'm like, oh, that seems tasty. I'd like to try one sometime. Even though I'm not a big drinker, at some point I would like to try it.
Yeah, I mean, if you like coffee, there's so many different ways that you can make them. And the original recipes that, have like fresh espresso, vanilla vodka, and maybe one or two other ingredients, depending upon where you go. I mean, like I've made them over the years for Italian restaurants with Amaro or different Amaris. So you take that like Jägermeister or the Italian equivalents of like Fernet or Braulio or Averna, any of those dark, rich kind of Amaris, and you throw those in there, or Jat, which is almond syrup, and it's used in tiki, it's used in different cocktail variations, and you put that in there as like a texture, like Di Serrano, another, really popular liqueur. Throw those in espresso martinis. I mean, there's an infinite amount of possibilities with that cocktail, and it's nice for that.
Do you get like, and they put actual espresso in there too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen people use cold brew or concentrate, and now there's a lot of coffee liqueurs out there too that are really well done, like Mr. Black out of Australia.
Yeah. I wonder, like, do you get like wired at the same time as like at the same time you're feeling the alcohol?
Yeah, you do. You definitely do, depending upon how much caffeine is in there. And like that's the Four Loko effect, right? Where you're mixing an upper and a downer.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, what's your thoughts on Four Loko, Michael? as a professional mixologist.
I mean, the Four Loko that exists now is very tame in comparison to what it once was, right?
Yeah.
So I remember drinking the original stuff, and that was a slightly different experience. But I mean, I live in Vegas, and Vegas is a very Red Bull and vodka heavy market, or at least it once was. and still is to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And whenever you're mixing an upper and a downer like that, it's you're riding a very tight wave there.
Very thin line. Yeah. Yeah, man. Right as for the original Four Loko was starting to pick up steam and become popular, that's when I stopped drinking. So I never had the pleasure, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was a wild time. It was a wild time.
DJ Four Loko, ever had him?
Never had it.
I remember my friends would always get the watermelon. That was their favorite.
Mm.
No, mixing an upper and a downer sounds like a horrible time.
Sounds like a heart attack.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Did you light up something else, DJ, or is that still the Anemoy?
I cut off the burnt part of the founders and went back to that.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Use the restroom. Right back.
I got the heater closer to my feet because it was legit. It was doing nothing.
Yeah, it was just ambient at that point.
Yeah, no, I wanted something light, but I didn't want to light up. All I have with me is a gold, and I'm like, I don't want to smoke a whole nother cigar.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the founders can run you home okay.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's good. It was just really, really tame. Which, I mean, that's barber pole, but my favorite barber pole is by the shop down in Galveston, and the guy makes all Cuban-inspired cigars, and none of his shit is light, or not none, but almost nothing is. And that barber pole is like straight peanuts and strength.
Is this the place you mentioned in your Asylum video during the AMA?
Yeah, El Manny Cubano in Galveston. It's technically in like Texas City or League City, but it's like 20 minutes away from Galveston, and League City is you could drive through the city in 5 minutes. So, but yeah, all he makes is strong cigars, except for one, which I think the white, and that's like tame. But everything else, it all has strength. It all has a good amount of Lajero in it. It's they're good cigars.
And you strength that you can actually feel having a higher tolerance as well.
Oh yeah, I sense I did a giveaway and Adam Swanson won it. I don't know if he enjoyed those cigars or not because he likes more of the mild stuff.
Yeah, I'd be interested. Like anytime I hear that, like you said, anytime you hear that, you're like, okay, like we'll see what happens, and then it usually doesn't live up to it. But I'd be interested in trying like a cigar where it says it'll kick my ass, and it actually kind of does kick my ass,
Yeah, and his like he doesn't even really say that. It's just how he makes his cigars. What they are, they're not the most palatable if you are not used to like feeling nicotine while smoking a cigar. You'll be dumb and you'll oversmoke it.
Yeah, and like with nicotine strength, I always associate it to like eating, like with food. You're not gonna feel the nicotine strength until you're done with the cigar, until you're like well into the cigar. It's kind of like food. You're not gonna be full until you've had enough food to eat.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to kind of determine nicotine strength from third to third because it's a culmination. It doesn't happen until the full effects of it aren't going to happen until you're done with the cigar or done smoking it.
Until it hits you, and then it's too late at that point. You're like, no, you just got hit by the bus. It's going to run over you for a little while.
Yeah, it's always too late by the time it happens.
Yeah, but yeah, he makes good cigars. They were really cheap too back before everything got crazy priced and supply chain fucked everything up for some people.
Yeah. Actually, I picked up. So sorry, DJ. I was gonna say I actually picked up a couple more Bricktoberfests because I was at my buddy's shop and I saw him. I was like, that's a pretty good cigar. I'm gonna pick up a couple more.
It is. It's a good cigar. Yeah, I got that double Connecticut. I'm just gonna let sit in my humidor for forever and see what that does. Because
Nice.
I never even tried to age one before, so it'll be interesting. Because it's a good cigar, but it's a very light, mild cigar.
That one has probably at least a year of age on it already
Cool.
at this point. So
Yeah, I'm just gonna let it sit
for sure.
chill. Plus, I don't know. I just like that cigar. I have no
Mhm.
idea why.
Well, and plus it was like you said, that was one of the very first cigars you fell in love with, right?
Yeah, just looking at it, like when I first got into this whole thing, I'd watch. I don't know how many different people's reviews on that cigar I watched until I was like, I'm gonna go find that one.
Yeah. And that's, nostalgia. That's
Yeah,
it's always gonna have a special place for you because of that.
yeah, and that's what I ever tell people. Like, I'm really gonna try a cigar. I'm like, yeah, just remember, I will put an asterisk on my review of that cigar. You might not think it's as good. Like
Yep.
it's special to me.
Yep.
So I don't try and tell people something's amazing just because I think it is. Which I say that with all things because people get mad at me. The most latest one was what was that review? It was the Asylum 13, and the dude was kind of like the comments you get where they make fun of what you got, and he was like, "Yeah, it tastes this, and pubes and blah blah blah." I'm like, okay, you don't realize this channel talks back, so like I'm gonna make fun of you in my comment sections, and I'll probably pin you too. That's the weirdest thing I get with doing YouTube is people will act like they can yell at the TV, but the TV can talk back now.
Yep.
Like,
It can and it will.
yeah, it's like I'm not just gonna be like, okay, cool, dude. Like, nah. Depending on what
Yeah.
you say, especially like, of all channels to do it with, like, not me.
No, you definitely you can dish it back better than
Yeah.
anybody.
Well, and like it's weird because when I first started, like, I got a crazy amount of hate. So I'm like, I'm used to it at this point, man. Like,
Yeah.
you ain't gonna say nothing. I got people insulting me for no reason back when I first
Yeah.
started. So I was like, whatever, the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's I think like over time for me anyways, like I just learned the easiest thing to do is to just not respond. But
Yeah,
it's like the temptation always is just it's so easy to do just to respond and just kind of spit it back at them, and they'll
yeah,
always find ways to kind of manipulate what you say at the
yeah,
same time. So in either case, if somebody like has the kind of gumption to go out of their way to just nonchalantly spit negativity at you, spit venom at you, they're probably going to be the type that aren't going to be the type to be reasoned with,
no,
and that's the sad part because you want to make as many friends as possible. Like you always want to put your best foot forward. But
yeah,
for people who, especially first time commenters who do nothing but spit negativity at you, it's probably likely you're not going to be able to reason with that person and come to a common ground.
no, and you'll get the crazy ones like on your video where they made a whole nother YouTube account just to continue to comment after you block them.
He made like two or three more, and then after blocking those, he finally just stopped.
Yeah, there was one. And there's one guy, he had legit 5 accounts because he would have conversations with himself, and I'm like, dude, it's not the same, man.
Yeah, yeah. And you saw DJ. You see
Yeah, I
Keon's
did.
comment.
I don't know, man. People just they like to throw shade for the sake of throwing shade. I don't get it, but like I'm gonna talk back at least for a little while. My favorite part is I'll comment and I'll let it sit just long enough to make sure I know they got the notification email, and then I'll block them.
That is the smart thing to do.
I'm like, and I get the last word. Bye.
And that's the thing, like not to be like God complex or anything, but with the channels and for people that are unruly,
Yeah,
as content creators, we have the final say.
yeah. It's like, this is my house, bro. You don't get to come into my house and insult me. No.
Yeah. Not going down, dude. Michael, what you got, bro?
Still smoking my flathead.
Okay, okay. Show.
Still smoking my flathead. Finishing this up.
Yeah, they do. They just want the attention, and I get that, but it's hard. It's hard not to sometimes. You want to respond, even though that's what they want.
Yeah, they want you to feed the beast.
Yeah, it's like that scene from The Dark Knight where the Joker's in the interrogation room, and the cop's like, "I know you're gonna enjoy this, so I gotta make sure I enjoy it just a little bit more." It's like
it's a great analogy.
It's like I know you want this, but I'm gonna get one lick in at least, and then I'll just keep getting it.
Yeah. And Michael, what I was gonna ask you this. What is shisha leaf? I've never heard of that before until I watched your Olmec review.
Oh, shisha.
Yeah, what is shisha?
So shisha is a Japanese ingredient in cuisine, and it's it has a very specific flavor to it that's unlike really anything else that I guess I can describe. I'm sure that EKB could probably elaborate on it too, but it's used a lot in sushi. It's an herb that looks similar to almost like cilantro.
Okay.
Where it's like a clover kind of looking leaf, but it's a little bit bigger. And it's got this very floral yet earthiness to it that, like I said, it's unlike really anything else, and it's specifically a Japanese herb that's utilized a lot in sushi and with very light style dishes with fish and more of like the crudo or the sashimi style, very, very light fish, light appetizer style dishes.
Okay.
But it's that perfect mix between floral and earthiness.
Okay. Yeah, having sushi before, I probably have had it before. I just, don't know about it. I've just never pinpointed it.
100%. There's I was out with my boss, my new boss that I have, and we were at a sushi restaurant having lunch last week, and one of the rolls actually had it inside of it, and it was just like this great kind of like finish on your palate with the roll because it has a very lingering flavor, but it's as refreshing as having that cilantro mint herb kind of finish on a dish.
Okay. Now, I want to try it, again, and then smoke the Olmec again to see if I get that flavor. Because, I couldn't pinpoint a flavor that I'm not even familiar with, I know Joe, he had the Olmec Maduro and the Corona Gorda, which I think is like a 5.5 by 48.
Later, Pam.
Later, dude. Good chilling with you.
Later, Steve.
Later, Steven. Good chilling.
So he had the Olmec Maduro.
Maduro and the Corona Gorda, which is I think a 5.5 or 6.5 by 48. I want to try it in that size. See if it gets that much more intense flavor out of it. Joe, he was just I'm pretty certain that's going to be on his best cigars of 2022 list. He was floored by that cigar.
It's a really good stick, man.
Did he get any interesting flavors?
I just watched a review one time, like right before this, but definitely like chocolatey flavors. But yeah, Joe, he definitely gets the more concise, like very pinpointed flavor notes.
Yeah. He smoked the Oro, which is a good cigar, super underrated. I don't know why there's not as many reviews on that one by Portello, and he said it was Danish butter cookies and musty cedar. And I'm like, yeah. It's a very specific, but yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think maybe Dreven told me that he's a chef by trade.
Mm,
So he's obviously very familiar with flavors, different types of
yeah,
flavors, with
it
cooking and
makes sense.
everything.
That's a good cigar. I don't know why it's not as popular in the rest of their lineup.
I gotta try. I've only had the Harlequin so far, and I really liked it. That was a damn good smoke.
Yeah, I don't know if I mean I suppose that's why they're sending so many marketing cigars out there because there's just not a ton of buzz about them as a brand. But I like so far what I've had.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember when they first came out, they're fairly popular. And I think they do a lot of regional stuff, like for
Mm,
Texas and one for the Northeast. So there's, probably in pockets they're more popular, I'm guessing.
yeah, yeah, but everyone's gonna try and be DE just because they're the marketing kings, man.
Yeah. And have any of us tried the Warped Chinchale
No.
from Justin? I haven't, but I know D-Love loves that cigar.
Hmm.
He's
Yeah,
always talking about that one.
he's spoken about that one a couple of times. He had that in his like last video for a little while before he stepped away from YouTube. He was talking about that when he was going through their like his humidor tour in
Yeah.
the last
Yeah.
video. Spoke very highly about that. So because I was just about to say EKB has as well. But I had the Eagles Descent for the first time
Yeah?
during the anniversary party that I spoke about last week. I had that for the first time. I saw it in the humidor. First cigar that I had.
So
Very
do
good.
you want to? Okay. Yeah,
Very
good.
good.
Because I know I sent him one of those Eagles Descents, and he's been smoking a lot of the cigars that I sent him. He smoked the Placencia Year of the Tiger. He loved it. I'm just relieved that there wasn't any construction issues like the one that I sent to EKB. And then D smoked the Almafuerte, the Eduardo the First. He loved that one. And then he smoked the Eagles Descent, and I saw the post a little bit before the live stream tonight, and he just said Eagles Descent, decent cigar, worth trying. I'm like, okay, he didn't
Yeah, I
like
saw
that
that.
one as much. Yeah,
Saw that. Saw that. And like I don't have a control to really compare it to when it comes to the rest of the Warped line because I just haven't gotten to all of his variety yet. I have had the Skyflower, I think it is, right?
yes.
And I like the Eagles Descent more than the Skyflower,
Hmm.
but I also feel like the Chinchale and a couple of other ones seem to get a little bit more
More buzz.
affection. Yeah.
Yeah. The El Oso Blanco, that's a fantastic smoke. That one was on my list last year. That's made at El Titan de Bronze.
Mm.
And I remember EKB commenting the Cohiba M was a letdown for him. That cigar's a letdown for me too. That I made me think of that because of El Titan de Bronze. It's made there. And then the La Gloria Cubana, the 8th Street, that's made at El Titan. That, actually, as far as like cigars that kind of let me down most recently, that's probably it. Just knowing that it's made at El Titan, just having the experience that I had, just wasn't up to snuff in my opinion. But it's
Did
sorry, Michael.
sorry, I was gonna say did the Cohiba M come out in a smaller format this year than it did
It
last year?
came out. It was a 6x48 or 6x52 when it initially came out last year, and this year they came out with a 6x48, the Corona Gorda.
Right. Which would make sense because El Titan de Bronze is Willie Herrera, and his signature rolls I feel are all Lonsdale and Lancero. Like when you get Willie past a 48, it seems to be a little tricky at times, but when you get him in that like 46, 48 and below range, I feel like he shines with his blending.
Yes, and that's why my buddy, I have a buddy here named Joe. His we both had the Cohiba M last year, the 6x52. We were both really disappointed in it. He had the 48 ring gauge, the one that came out this year. He said it was a ton better. He said he liked it a lot better than the one last year.
And the La Gloria is a little bit bigger of a ring gauge too, right?
La Gloria is a 50,
Oh, okay.
so not by too much, but still above the 48.
Yeah, I feel like Willie has like this Midas touch in that 46 to 48.
Once you get out of it, it's a crapshoot.
Right. Yeah, Rosa Sharon, man, that has a lot of nice floral components to it. I like that cigar.
Is that the Lonsdale that blend?
I believe
For
so.
Lancero?
I believe so. Either the Lancero or the Lonsdale. They have quite a few sizes in the Rosa Sharon now.
I like the Desert Rose a lot. The little Bellicoso. That was a damn good cigar.
That was on my top. That was my honorable mention last year.
Mm-hmm.
I was smoking
That's why I got
it. I was smoking that during the during the actual segment.
Yeah, that's funny, dude. Yeah, that was a really good cigar, man. Yeah, I had the one. Was it the Flor de Valle Skyflower, the 2021 iteration? It got better as I smoked it. I think I may have spoken about this before, but it started out with a mineral earth note, which I detest, but it actually went away, and it became a good cigar because of that. Yeah, I remember watching EKV's review of that, and I remember him not being a big fan of it. So we're coming up on the 3 hour mark, guys.
We are.
I was gonna light up another cigar, but I think this Underground 10 will take me home for tonight.
Agreed.
Damn. It had been a while since I retrohaled this one. The pepper has definitely kicked back up here in the final third.
Yeah.
So any big plans for tomorrow, guys?
Fake Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, your own Thanksgiving.
Oh. I'll have like I don't even know how many people in my house. Too many, but you know.
You'll make it work. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of hard finding a turkey that'd be a decent size. For all the local shops around here only had like up to a 15. I'm like, that ain't gonna work.
No, got to go double that.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, I pulled it out of the car after we did the pickup. I'm like, this is 15 pounds. This is tiny. Like for a turkey? Nah, but I mean, I've heard people are doing, what was the statistic? 3 out of 10 people are only doing Thanksgiving this year. Just because it's too expensive.
Wow.
Which I get it.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
No, we do it. We used to buy 2 turkeys, and then we would cook basically an extra couple weeks worth of food, and that was my mother-in-law's like food for a while. Like we would just everything left over, just because it get to the point where near the end they're like, "Please take our turkeys." I'm like, "Yeah, 100%. We can make a billion meals with this, man." But now it's just not this way. It's like even like everything got the shortest. They're like, "Yeah, we're just not going to feed the turkeys. They're going to be smaller now." Like, it's crazy. But yeah,
some anemic turkeys.
I'm like, man, y'all didn't fatten these up at all this year. You're just like, okay.
Yeah, that stinks. Yeah, my wife and I, since it's just going to be the both of us, we just bought like the pre-made, like pre-packaged like turkey breasts.
Yeah.
From Trader Joe's.
Yeah. I'm sure that's the way with a lot of people.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 pounds of meat. That'll do us. You know, that's for 2 people. We'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's like I'm sure. I mean, like price of gas, different places. It's like, well, I could drive to your house. It's gonna cost me, 2 tanks of gas. I gotta drive up to fucking Oklahoma on Wednesday. I just remembered
Is there a is there a destination in Oklahoma, or you're just driving through?
It's Windstar Casino. I gotta shoot there
Oh, okay.
as a favor for a customer.
Hmm.
It's not even shit I get
Oklahoma.
used. I just gotta drive up there, take pictures and videos, and drive back and be like, here.
DJ, you better get that damn award, bro. At your
Right.
at your Christmas party, you better fucking get that award.
I got a good feeling I'm gonna get snubbed again, man. It's just what it is.
Is there another situation that you're kind of touching on, like with another person?
Oh, it's political. It's annoying. What's annoying is it's not even really political. It's just political for person in my department who's gonna push something forward. Like it's a chess
Yeah.
game that only they're playing.
No, that blows, dude.
Yeah, I got a pretty good thing. Or it's gonna be another person who I'm fine if they win, but they got inducted to like their Hall of Fame basically this year. So I'm like, all right, that makes sense. But
Mm,
is what it is.
that sucks, dude. Well, obviously, Michael and I are definitely rooting for you because you deserve it.
100%. You deserve all the awards, my friend.
All the
Absolutely.
awards.
All of
Does
you.
does the winner get like anything other than a certificate? Do they get like any sort of prize or anything?
I've heard mixed things, but I believe they get some type of a bonus, which would be cool since it's Christmas time. But I ain't gonna
Hmm.
put my weight in anything.
Yeah. Well, at least at this point, you can't be disappointed,
Yeah.
which
Nah,
sucks.
the year I started, a newer person won, and apparently it like pissed off half the company, which I didn't know because I was brand new. So I'm just like, yeah, man,
Yeah.
good for you, buddy.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So who knows?
You're,
But I mean, that's just the way corporate companies are, man. It's stupid how political things get. I'm like, it's not that deep, man. It's not
Oh,
that
yeah.
deep.
how many employees does your company have?
I think like 300 at this point.
Fuck, that is a big company.
Yeah, I mean, for what it is I mean, in the grand scale, it's not, but at the same time, it is. Like back when I worked at Lucas Oil Products, it's the same type of thing, man. It's a big company, but family run, so it's weird.
Yeah. 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 My company has maybe like 18 employees, maybe 20.
Wow.
So definitely a small company.
Yeah, yeah. When I first moved to Texas, the consulting agency I was in, which should have been a huge red flag when I started working there, but there was two. I didn't know there was only two, so I was like the fourth hire, and they
Yeah.
hired three and four at the same exact time, and we were a turnaround consulting company. And they were a pattern. Every 4 years, the company would basically burn to the ground and rebuild itself up due to lawsuits, lack of customers, and what have you. But when I started, I'm like, I should have been like, hey, that's kind of weird that there's only five of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Wearing way too many hats at that point too.
Yeah, and it was turnaround consulting. So they'd find businesses that were basically bleeding money and then flip them. But the contract was bullshit, and they end up owing the owner like 60% of the revenue.
Fuck that.
Yeah, because it was like, well, you could die, or I can save you, but you'll also pay us a shit ton of money. And then what the guy would do, he'd be like, don't pay us, just pay us our monthly retainer, and then I'll collect it on the back end because it was based off of percentage growth, and he was really good at rapidly growing customers. But then all of a sudden, the people that are going to hire that type of guy are shady too. So almost every contract ended in a lawsuit, a threat of lawsuit, or some type of weird settlement.
Drama, dude.
Oh,
Saw Sean's comment. Glad you can join, even though we're probably gonna end it soon here. I'm guessing since we're coming up 30 seconds away from 3 hours.
yeah. We were delayed due to Apple technical difficulties.
Yeah, hopefully by the time we do our next live stream, they'll figure that shit out.
Yeah, I'm almost guaranteed it's just to do with updates, but I'm like, I'm not gonna update my phone. I'm just gonna hope I can see, which it works out.
Yeah.
I'm like a 3-second delay, but I can still read the chat and shit.
Okay, more than I can do.
Well, yeah, I saw how small it was, and I'm like, I understand why Matt always go, who commented? It's because you couldn't see anything.
That's why I always lean forward, like, what? What is that?
Yeah, like, what is this? It's like 2-point font, man.
Oh, yeah.
So what's to end everything on my end? What's everybody's cigar related Christmas wish for the year?
Cigar-related Christmas wish.
Is there any accessory, cigar, or anything out there that you've put out into the world already that you're looking forward to either procuring or having somebody gift you?
Oh, I was thinking like Christmas wish. I was thinking like just like anything. My Christmas wish, cigar wise, is to get Master Your Ash to 1,000 subscribers. That's my real. That's my Christmas wish. But like as far as like, and this like comes down to like my wife too. She when it comes like to the holiday season, she's like, I don't like. I know you love cigars and that's like your thing, but I don't know what to get you because you get for one, you get it yourself, or two, I'm gonna get you something and you're gonna be disappointed because you know what you like is far different than you know what I could probably get you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a big ass box of Sakakon. That's a damn good wish you gave me.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say that to Steve, like in my response email, like, is there any particular cigar you want? I was gonna say like, you know, I reviewed the cigar already, but feel free to send as many more as you want to.
Yeah.
But I was professional as I possibly could in my response.
Sure.
No, I'm probably gonna get one of the whatever the little butt plug thing you stick in that tells you the meter. Not the weird one. Yeah, not that. They sent me like 5 emails and like, hey, we're gonna finally remove you from it, but we'd love to work with you. Yeah, that's what I want. But the little website thing, they're like, we'd love to be a part of the campaign. They sent me like, I finally responded. I'm like, look, I've seen all your marketing. I've read it. I don't get it. Explain it to me. And then they went radio silence, and I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I genuinely, it's like Leatherface for your cigar. It's weird.
It's Nick Cage, John Travolta face off for your cigar.
Yeah. I'm like,
I mean, and I hate to shoot down a company that's trying because you know things. I hate to shoot it down because I haven't tried it, but the idea is just so obtuse. I'm not gonna try it. Like it's just It's not an issue. That's an issue for me. So I feel there's no need to try and address a non-issue.
Right.
When I asked, I'm like, how does saliva on the tip change the flavor of the cigar? Explain that to me specifically, because that's your whole selling point. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell me the problem you're solving because I don't understand it. I mean, maybe it does. I'm like, are you saying like I have ass breath, so my saliva is ruining the cigar in that way? Because I mean, yeah, if your mouth is full of like bacteria and decay and shit, sure.
Yeah.
But if you have proper dental hygiene, it should not be a factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm enough of a nerd and have like my perfect draw on me all the time. Have the humidity reader thing and all that stuff. I don't need any more shit to carry around with me to be like, oh, I can't smoke. I need my cigar butt plug. I got to make sure I have that. It's like no, just sorry. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
When does that become like a seatbelt where you just get into the habit of always strapping in your seatbelt when before you start driving the car? So like you put your cigar butt plug in as soon as you get done cutting every single cigar and you never forget it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, kudos to them for trying, but I think that it was a wayward kind of attempt.
Yeah, and if there's like any type of study to prove it did something, like no, this really does make your cigar better somehow, cool. But at that point, it's anecdotal, and you can see every single review. The person's like, it's got good build quality, and it probably does. But I'm like, but what else? Like the little the Humi meter makes sense because the whatever your hygrometer says, it doesn't mean shit as far as the inside of it doesn't mean anything because depending upon the top, the bottom, it doesn't matter. It's going to be something different. It's never going to be the right. So that makes sense. You can tell exactly what it is, and then you can procure your taste to, hey, I found out I actually really like it when at this specific degree. So that's solving a problem. I don't know the problem it's trying to solve, and that's like the biggest mistake is people will come up with a cool product or that something they think is cool. I'm like, but it's not fixing anything that anyone has an issue with.
Exactly.
And that was like, so I spent 2 days in meetings last week, and that was the most annoying part. Is 90% of what people said is all anecdotal, and I'm like, you have no way to prove that this is an issue. It isn't an issue. It's something we should fix or it's something we should do. It's just what you think, and I hate that. I'm like, don't, because all my reports were number based, and I'm like, this is what we need to do. Here's why.
Yep.
And it's like, you asked what our customers are looking for. Well, on YouTube, there's a new tool. It's integrated. We can all see it. We can see exactly what our subscribers are searching for right now for free, built into YouTube underneath the audience tab. So make that content. Like it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
None of those searches say cigar butt plug.
This is true. Or if they do, it's a whole different audience.
Yes. It's not what we're looking for.
Yeah.
It's the Cigar Men's showcase audience. We're not into that.
The views though. The views. Do it for the views. Well, that's ending on a high note right there.
Yeah. Whenever we can end on Cigar Men Showcase, I mean that's fantastic.
Or be on Cigar Men Showcase, which I still do. I look from time to time. I'm so sad whenever I don't see you guys on there.
You were subscribed with the bell ring. So like, wait, new one?
Notified everything.
That's hilarious. Maybe one day we'll get a live stream with them.
It'll just be them screen recording our live.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like hold that pose. Take a draw off that cigar. Hold it for a long time.
It is, man.
Oh man.
Well, boys, I think that we can pretty much call it here, right? So
for sure.
I wish the two of you, everybody in the chat, EKB, everybody that joined in, a very happy and fortuitous Thanksgiving next week. And, hopefully we can do this again very soon. Get EKB on here and, have a good time.
Absolutely. It was great hanging out with you guys. Thanks for everybody participating in the chat room. DJ, great hanging out. Michael, great hanging out. EKB, hopefully see you next time, man.
Absolutely.
And have a happy Thanksgiving.
Alrighty, fellas. Later.
All right, guys. Late.
Yeah.